Miss Paula, are you on the call?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, I am just waiting on one more. All right, never mind, we're good to go. It is now 5:06, and we call this meeting to order. If you could do a roll call, please.
Trustee Ramos,
Present.
Dr. LeBlanc, Dr. LeBlanc,
She was switching over. If you can ring her name at the end again.
okay. Trustee Calhoun,
Present.
Dr. Little,
Present.
Dr. LeBlanc, President Lopez,
Present.
Dr. LeBlanc.
Ms. Paula, I will acknowledge her once she is able to log back in.
Okay, great, thank you.
No problem. Moving on to item number 5.02, Pledge of Allegiance. If we can have, I'm gonna have Dr. LeBlanc do it, but Trustee Calhoun, you're the first one on my screen, so if you don't mind doing the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right. Everybody place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for some.
All right. I would like to take a moment to explain a change in our public comment procedure that is occurring in this meeting due to a new law that makes changes in the Brown Act. Since the beginning of the pandemic, in order to protect the health and safety of the campus community, the board has conducted its board meetings virtually. That is by Zoom video conference without the board or the public in physical attendance, as permitted by executive orders of the governor. During this time, the board's public comment procedure was for public comment to be submitted via email by 3 p.m. on the day of the meeting, with such comments to be read aloud by a district staff member during the public comment portion of the meeting, subject to the board's usual 3-minute time limit for individual public comments. Effective as of October 1st, 2021, AB 361 sets new requirements for public comment procedures in a virtual meeting. These include the following. The legislative body shall allow members of the public to access the meeting, and the agenda shall provide an opportunity for members of the public to address the legislative body directly via a call-in option or an internet-based service option. The legislative body shall not require public comments to be submitted in advance of the meeting and must provide an opportunity for the public to address the legislative body and offer comment in real time. In order to comply with these new requirements, the board's policy comment procedure has changed. Rather than public comment via email, members of the public will have the opportunity to give comment via Zoom or telephone. Members of the public are still free to submit correspondence to the board via email at any time. However, email correspondence will no longer be read out loud as public comment in the board meeting. In accordance with Board Policy 2350, speakers who wish to be heard on a specific agenda item or items will be heard at the time the agenda item is before the Board of Trustees for consideration. The board's posted agenda, which is accessible in the district's website, contains instructions for making public comment in real time using Zoom or telephone. In brief, members of the public using Zoom are asked to use the chat feature either to state the agenda item regarding which they wish to speak or to state that they wish to speak regarding a non-agenda item. For example, please post a message in the chat that states, "I would like to speak on item," and list the information. Or, "I would like to speak on a matter that is not on the agenda." Members of the public using the telephone are asked to press *9 to let staff know you wish to make a comment. I, with the assistance of district staff, will call on members of the audience who have requested to speak at the appropriate time. Comments will be subject to time limits as stated in the board policy 2350. 3 minutes per speaker, 30 minutes per agenda item, unless extended as provided in the policy. Moving on to item number 6, report of actions taken in closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54857.1. Let me make sure that I'm reading. And in closed session, via unanimous vote, the following Board of Trustees response to vote of no confidence. The Compton Community College District Board of Trustees has complete confidence in the leadership of Dr. Keith Curry. Dr. Curry guides the college's strategic plan to create and maintain educational opportunities and resources essential for all Compton College students to complete their desired personal, educational, and professional goals. His work as Chief Executive Officer has led to numerous new programs and initiatives on campus, all designed to ensure student success. He is a consistent advocate for Compton College, working tirelessly to represent our district while ensuring that our institution has requisite resources and educational stability. Born and raised in Compton, Dr. Curry has dedicated his life's work to the residents of the city and the successes of Compton College. Since becoming CEO in 2011, he has successfully solved challenges with budget shortfalls, along with facilities and capital renovation needs, while building partnerships with community groups and agencies. In addition to successfully obtaining accreditation for the El Camino College Compton Center, now known as Compton College, on June 7, 2017, his accomplishments are well documented. A partial list includes secured $11.3 million in the 2017-2018 California state budget to support Compton College's transition to an independent college, positioned Compton College to participate in the Achieving the Dream 2020 cohort, and secured $112,500 from the Kretzky Foundation, successfully secured $400,000 from the College Future Foundation to support Compton College's implementation of guided pathways, dual enrollment, and aligned associate degrees for transfer pathways in 2019 and 2020. And he found monetary support for each major component of the Compton College 2024 projects: dual enrollment, charter success teams, guided pathways, faculty and staff diversity, and research evaluation. Under Dr. Keith Curry's leadership, several key renovations were completed, along with the opening of new facilities with support from a $100 million facilities bond approved by voters in November of 2014. Since 2011, Compton College District has secured over $250 million from facility bonds and state funding for capital outlay projects, as well as external funding in support of student success. Dr. Curry also brought many student support programs to the campus and secured funding and support for those programs, developed and revised over 160 Compton Community College District Board policies, administrative regulations, and administrative procedures, opened a campus health center and a food pantry in 2017, helped to establish new academic programs and an early college high school program, established the College Promise program along with $6.3 million in funding, which addresses the financial needs for students who might not otherwise have the opportunity to pursue their academic goals, and has significantly reduced the number of our annual audit findings. Our support remains with Dr. Curry, and we look forward to a bright future with this skilled president/CEO. Moving on to item number 7, approval of open session agenda. Board members, can I get a motion?
So move.
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Ramos and seconded by Trustee Calhoun Do we have any discussions? Trustee Ramos?
I have one correction on one item in the item 8.01 has an error. It says 316. It should say 361. The resolution is correct, but the item that's listed on board says 316. It should be 361.
Can you go back to the, you said 8.01?
8.01. That's a correction to the agenda.
What should it list?
It says on the resolution, on the item, it says Assembly Bill 316. It should be Assembly Bill 361. The resolution is correct.
Got it. Board members, please note the modification and the correction of the Assembly Bill noted for the resolution. Do we have any comments? Trustee Ramos?
No comment.
Dr. LeBlanc?
No comments.
Trustee Calhoun?
This is on 801, correct?
The edit that he made, that Dr. Curry just made, correct.
Okay. Will this be on the agenda every month? Because I really, just my opinion, I would really like for us to talk about maybe in the November meeting about coming back in person.
Yes,
Yes,
if you want to bring it up during future discussion
Future
agenda
agenda?
items.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. All right,
Okay.
thank you. All right. Then no discussion until future. Okay.
Of course. Dr. Little?
No discussion.
All right, see no discussion. Ms. Paula, can you do a roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
President Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 8, Compton Community College District Resolutions, continuing Board of Trustees authority to hold virtual meetings pursuant to AB 361, open meetings, state and local agency teleconferences. Can I get a motion, board members?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. LeBlanc and seconded by Dr. Little. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos?
No discussion.
Dr. LeBlanc?
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun?
No discussion.
Dr. Little?
No discussion.
See no discussion, Ms. Paula, can you do a roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
President Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Recognitions, number 9, we have no recognitions. Moving on to request to address the Board of Trustees on agenda and non-agenda matters. Dr. Curry, will you be reading off the names since you're following?
Yeah, the first one is Sean Moore.
Okay. Mr. Moore, we have, you have 3 minutes. If you can give us a second before you begin, there will be a clock.
Just let me know.
Yep. Can you thank you. And you're available. You can go now.
Thank you. Hello, Board of Trustees. My name is Sean Moore, and I'm a tenured faculty member here at Compton College. I am also the College Curriculum Committee Chair of our institution, an active Academic Senate Executive Board member, the Academic Senate Business and Industrial Studies Voting Representative, Compton College's 2020 Civility Champion recipient, and Compton College's 2021 Distinguished Faculty Award recipient. It is with immense pride that I serve our local community, and these positions have allowed me to build special relationships with our Compton College leaders. As a result, I know that both Dr. Curry and VP Berger are strong leaders that consistently work hard to equitably support our students. The vote of no confidence contains information that is not part of the 10+1 and lacks supportive documentation. Dr. Curry is known in the state of California as a proponent of equity, and I am concerned about the optics of how this is going to look publicly at state and national levels, when all prescriptive and proactive solutions were not first explored. VP Berger being illustrated in the document was an afterthought. Due to the seriousness of this matter, I feel compelled to openly be a credible example of other faculty that also do not support this vote of no confidence. I believe in our leadership, and I'm not the only one. Dr. Curry's efforts have ensured the financial solvency of our institution. I strongly oppose the vote of no confidence, and it should not be placed as an action item on a future Board of Trustees agenda. And I want to thank you all for your time today. Good evening.
Thank you. Heather, thanks. Before you start it, hold on. Dr. Curry, can you call the next speaker?
One second, just trying to manage the thing real quick. Before item 14.
I want to say it's Lisa Rios.
Yeah, Lisa Rios, before item 14.
Okay, thank you very much. And I
Give me a
suppose,
second, I need to have that start.
okay, no problem.
Okay, Heather. You could start now.
Okay, thank you. I am Lisa Rios. I'm professor of communication studies since 2013. And normally I've had the privilege of seeing all of you here on the board when celebrating students who have been champions at a variety of different debate tournaments. Sadly, instead, I am here because, like my fellow colleagues, I am fierce when it comes to advocating for my students, both students of the past, current students, and future students alike. An educational institution ideally should be the beacon of light and hope in every community. It should be the heart and soul of a city where dreams for success and a bright future are born and nurtured. This is the core value of my fellow colleagues. My colleagues who are not here for a hidden agenda, who have nothing to gain by speaking truth, by, in the midst of a pandemic with 10 times extra work, taking the time to do the credible, factual research. That was what this vote of no confidence took when putting all of the time, ideas, and truthful, factual statements together to present in a variety of arenas, including this one. To salvage what is left of our Compton College by replacing leadership with those who have experience and a track record of success. Members of the board, most of you, if not all of you, you've had your opportunity of fulfilling your educational goals because you had access to a college. But what about future potential students in the city of Compton and surrounding communities? Where will they go? What will happen when Hold Harmless expires in the near future with minuscule enrollment numbers? The harmless will quickly turn into harmful if we don't act now. Ever since I started teaching remotely on Zoom in March of 2020, I've had the opportunity to see my amazing students who navigate their studies, their work, their family. I've seen mothers holding their beautiful babies as they present a speech. I've seen dads making a meal for their kids as they engage and contribute to class discussion. I've seen grandparents hug their little grandchildren during class. And during each and every one of these times, I've said with 100% sincerity to those children in the Zoom background, I'll be here waiting for you at Compton College in my speech class. I know you're proud of your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your grandparent, and I will be waiting for you here, waiting and ready to watch you soar and succeed here at Compton College. Board of Trustees, I plead with you to make that sweet vision of a college education here at Compton College become the reality for future generations by leading with integrity and conscientious decision-making. Please reach out to me, lrios@compton.edu, 714-501-3808. I would be happy to talk to you and share with you
Thank you very
the
much.
many stories.
Moving on to the next speaker. Dr. Curry.
The next speaker, we have Jasmine Phillips. She has 2 items. She wants to speak on item 6.03 when we get to that item. And then also she wants to speak on the vote of no confidence. So Jasmine Phillips.
Thank you. Hello, Board of Trustees. My name is Jasmine Phillips, and I teach human development and African-American psychology. And I would like to first share that I love teaching and advocating for my students, and I always will, And I also love helping and working with my colleagues at this institution. So it saddens me to have to acknowledge the truth, which is that since I started working here, I have seen a steady decline in enrollment at this institution. It is blatantly clear that Compton College has experienced a 50% loss of FTES since 2011. If we are all here to serve our students and we have no students, then we essentially have no college. That will negatively impact our community in so many ways, making it impossible for them to attain their college education. As we know, people in our community need the local college here. They're unable to go to other colleges due to a myriad of reasons that our community experiences. So we obviously need new leadership now, because the consequences of over a decade of mismanagement have resulted in Compton College being a shell of what we used to be in so many unfortunate ways. So I stand united with faculty classified and the academic senate in saying that we need your help in achieving new leadership now. And I do not have another comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. Yep, thank you. Dr. Curry, who's next?
The next person is Amber Gillis.
Thank you. Board of Trustees, my name is Amber Gillis, and I have the honor of serving our students as an English faculty member here at Compton College since 2009. I have also served our community college district as a faculty leader on campus, where I have been our accreditation faculty coordinator since December 2015, our student learning outcomes coordinator since February 2021, and as the immediate past academic senate president. Why is it important for you to know these things about me? It's simple. These roles have given me the opportunity to work directly with district administrators, specifically Dr. Curry and VP Berger. The recent vote of no confidence taken against Dr. Curry and VP Berger is something that I am vehemently against for numerous reasons. While you may hear that this vote of no confidence has overwhelming support, I want you to know that not all faculty feel this way. I am a faculty member that understands that Dr. Curry and VP Berger are both committed to accessible, equitable, inclusive, just, and anti-racist educational opportunities and support services for the community of students that we serve. Thank you.
Next, we have Jose Bernardo.
Thank you. Good evening, board members. My name is Jose Bernado. I'm an English professor. I've been teaching here for 17 years. I've taught thousands and thousands of students. I'm very proud to be a professor here at Compton College. And I'm very proud to have so many of my students go on to transfer, do wonderful things. This is a wonderful place to teach at. I support the vote of no confidence by the supermajority of the academic senate, the faculty union, and the classified union. Our faculty members who are specialists in teaching research, I teach a research paper in all my classes, did a lot of work coming up with these facts. These facts are not what was mentioned early on in this meeting. And we're talking about the steady decline in enrollment many years before the pandemic. Board members, these facts cannot be ignored. These facts cannot be disregarded. My question to you is, what are you going to do to change these lack of results, this steady decline? I'm looking for an answer. Thank you very much.
Next, we have Jennifer Hill.
Good evening, respected trustees. You probably haven't heard much about our honors program lately, but once upon a time, it was truly outstanding. In fall of 2017, nearly 100 Compton College students earned honors credit across all disciplines, and we faculty felt enormous pride to see them excel. Unfortunately, today, that feeling of pride is long gone. This fall, we have a total of 3 students attempting honors level coursework. Yeah, that's correct. Only 3 students total in the entire college. Why? Well, this semester we are only offering just 1 single honors class in 1 subject. This means that students who are unable to take that 1 course are completely denied the opportunity for honors level study. Meanwhile, at competing community colleges nearby, honors opportunities are offered in a range of subjects, even during the pandemic. The same is true for all community colleges in California, all 115 of them, except for Compton College. Dr. Curry gutted our honors program in 2018, much as he has done with our formerly thriving FIST program, our first year experience program, our guest author series, and our Voices of Compton art journal, all of which now exist in name only due to his interference. These were thriving, low-cost, faculty-run programs until Dr. Curry decided to micromanage despite having no related job experience. Now these fundamental programs are essentially unavailable to our students. Board of Trustees, for Compton College to fail to offer such basic opportunities is a staggering betrayal of this community, as well as clear institutional racism. How can it be called anything else when our college, which serves mostly Latino and African American students, does not offer even a quarter of the standard programs and services available to white students just a few miles down the road? How can we let this stand? How can we look our students in the eye, knowing how much they are being cheated and what they have lost? And how on earth does Dr. Curry sleep at night? How can a man who calls himself the equity avenger on social media allow our students to go without so much? Board of Trustees, with all due respect, it is unconscionable to let this situation continue. Our students
Thank you
deserve
very
far
much
better.
for your comments. Dr. Curry, next speaker.
Nikki Williams.
Thank you. This message is on behalf of Valerie Woodward, Chair of Fine Arts, Communications, and Humanities. Board of Trustees, I would like to take a couple of minutes to speak about AB705 and its implementation on our campus. This legislation, implemented in 2019, mandates that unless there can be compelling evidence shown otherwise, that all students are able to enroll in transfer level English or math in order to increase their likelihood of passing these foundational courses. One proven way of helping students to succeed in transfer level English or math is the co-requisite model. Nationwide data over the last decade has shown again and again that students are between 30 to 75% more likely to pass these classes if they take a co-requisite class. Although the English department was an early adopter of this type of course, there has been almost no institutional support for this massive change in curricular structure. And as a result, our co-requisite courses have languished and many students who should have received this help have not. One of the ways that this institution has failed students is through the open declaration by Dr. Curry that he does not support this model and plans to sunset the co-requisite model by 2025. When I asked again if there were any hope of having an AB705 coordinator, I was told no. This is despite the fact that equity gaps amongst Black and Latinx students are closing using the co-requisite model. We did have an AB705 coordinator for 2 semesters total, not concurrently, however, over 2 years ago, and there was no cross-departmental team to help implement this shift in curricular change. An example of successful implementation of co-requisites can be seen at Citrus College in Glendora. I had 2 meetings this summer with Michael Wangler, Dean of Mathematics in Citrus College to discuss their successful implementation of co-requisites in math and English. They gathered a team of over 20 people who were given the appropriate time to work on this subject. Their success rates in math and English have jumped by double digits. I was also told by Mr. Wangler that there was room and funding available for math faculty on his statewide Math Pathways project, and was told again by Dr. Curry that there was no interest from this institution. Under the new student success formula, our funding from the state depends on students successfully passing transfer level math and English. And yet, Dr. Curry continues to deny time and resources to a proven and effective way of helping students. Thank you.
Dr. Curry, next speaker.
Next speaker is Jeanette Morales.
Greetings, Board of Trustees. I'm Jeanette Morales, counselor at Compton College, and I'm here to speak about the declining number in student enrollment. While our enrollment and recruitment office was doing the same thing year after year with no positive results, the administrator managing the office received positive evaluations for many years in a row. How is that possible? Why did nobody hold that person accountable for their performance? If administration does not do their job, we all suffer the consequences. At the end of the day, if Dr. Curry had a failing department, it was his job to ensure things would change. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. So I'm asking you, please don't be insane. We already saw what Dr. Curry and Sherry Berger have to offer. Let's not be insane. Let's try something different. Bring new leadership. Thank you.
Next speaker.
The last speaker is David Simmons.
Good evening, honorable board members. My name is David Simmons. I'm currently employed in the district as helper desk supervisor. I've been associated with the district for over 40 years, more than 40 years to count that my mother, she was a graduate of Compton College. First as a student, then a tutor and program assistant before becoming a permanent employee in 1986. I also served as union president board rep for several years. If I mention the name Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell, if I asked mention those names 8 years ago, people would consider them very competent attorneys. Now they are both disbarred, not because they're stupid, but because they have lost objectivity. I'm using them as extreme examples of what I see happening today. Professionals who I consider very respected and competent are being blinded to reality and attacking the president, CEO, Dr. Keith Curry. His accomplishments are being ignored by them. Also, I'd like to mention that we don't need another January 6th at Compton College. We're very sincere people who actually, they believe in what they do is right, but they are very misguided. So I just think that I support Dr. Curry and Berger. Thank you.
Dr. Curry, do we have any more speakers before we move on?
No, we do not.
All right. Heather, if you don't mind changing the screen. All right, moving on to item 10.0. 10.01 request to, 10.02 Compton Community College District Board of Trustees future agenda items request. Board members, do we have anything to discuss? Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Trustee, Dr. LeBlanc.
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun.
Yes. This for future agenda, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'd like to, for future agenda, when will we have a student trustee? I think we have STEM classes, but I want to know if we have coding classes. I like to see, let me say STEM and coding, but I think we have STEM, but I still like to say that both. I know it's been on the agenda and Dr. Curry is working on it. It's about our radio station. Kevin Nash.
Trustee Calhoun, can I ask a question? Are you asking for agenda items or are you asking for updates on these 3 items?
Those 2 agenda, but update on the radio. And then you was gonna give me a update, which is not for future agenda, on accepting applications like with DEI, no name, no ethnicity, no age. You said you would look into it with HR and see how it could be done. But I know you had to investigate it, you had to talk to the attorney and everything like that.
That's actually on the agenda tonight to talk about the board policy and administrative regulation. Board policy,
Okay.
the administrative regulation regards to hiring.
That must have been, okay. And the other one is to bring the meeting back in the open. So that would be future agenda. I know that our boardroom is small, but I'm talking about the little theater. And an update on your meeting with the unions for to bring in technical classes like drywall, electrical, so forth and so forth. That's not me. Oh, you timed me. Okay, that's cool.
No, that was.
No, it's okay. I'm done. It was good. Don't go over the 3 minutes. I like that. I like that. Okay, thank you.
Dr. Little?
Yes, 2 things that I would like for future agenda items. I would like some trend information on our graduation rates over the past few years and their increase or decrease. Secondarily, I would like information going back to our separation from El Camino College and the expected impact around enrollment.
That's a good one.
And any other implications that were articulated and stated around the separation. And if we have any data around student outcomes and faculty evaluations, and if there are any associations with that, because I know I think Academic Senate was engaged in that work. Thank you. That's it.
All right. Thank you, board members. Moving on to item number 11, Board of Trustees meeting minutes for September 7th, 2021. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. LeBlanc, and I apologize, I did not catch who was the second.
Trustee Calhoun.
Trustee Calhoun, thank you very much. Board members, do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Dr. LeBlanc.
No discussion. Thank
Trustee
you.
Calhoun.
No discussion.
Dr. Little.
No discussion.
Seeing no discussion, Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
President Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 12, presentations, 12.01, Compton College Student Equity and Achievement. Dr. Curry.
Yeah, I would like to bring Liddell Willis, who is our Director of Basic Needs and Success, who will be providing the presentation today about student equity and achievement. Liddell.
Thank you, Dr. Curry. Thank you, board. I'd like to talk a little bit about what we're doing in student equity and achievement here on campus. Next slide, please. So just briefly what we're going to discuss today, we're going to discuss the development of equity plan, what we're doing with the Charter Support Network, an update on our basic needs services, and some planning for spring 22. Next slide, please. So currently, Compton College is partnering with the Gensler Institute to help create a new student equity plan. This important work creates a framework on how Compton College will continue to combat inequalities on campus. And we're looking for a completed SEP plan that's slated to be presented to the board on December 7th. After meeting today with Gensler, this date could be pushed back a little bit. We will be updating. As you see our timeline below, we had started reviewing Compton College's previous plans, and we reviewed other plans from other community colleges and started to come up with our own. Currently, right now, we are working on our equity statement. We have been to different committees to get feedback, ASG, Student Support Committee. We're waiting on academic students response, and they are scheduled for this Thursday. We are looking at data as well for our disproportionately impacted groups. And we plan to have something completed by the end of November. Next slide, please. Charter Support Network. If you don't know about Charter Support Network, we're a combination of managers, faculty, and staff who meet every other Monday, discuss how to better serve our students and meet their basic needs. A little bit about our basic needs. If you're not aware that students complete the basic needs questionnaire on campus, we then funnel that information and sort it based on what they need. Some students may require technological assistance, they may require housing assistance. They could be applying for equity grants, and we make sure that those students are notified and services are given. As of October 11th, we have a total of 587 applications that have been processed this semester. And just to note that some are duplicates just based on applying for different things. So maybe a student has applied for a grant and then they need a laptop or something of that nature so they could fill out the application. Next slide. Just to update on what we've given out so far. So far, we've given out 187 laptops, 378 headsets, 246 Wi-Fi hotspots. We now have secured funding for calculators, for TI-84 calculators. So beginning next month, we'll be giving TI-84 calculators for students to keep, those that enrolled in statistics. Next slide. Addressing hunger on campus. So we were able to secure a partnership with the LA Regional County Food Bank for the rest of this semester. Our first drive was on October 12th. We served 237 households with help from volunteers from the Los Angeles Rams organization and Albertsons and Bonds. We have 2 more dates scheduled for November 9th and December 14th. We are looking to get the word out. Our goal is to serve 600 households each time. So we're working on community partnerships to get the information to community-based organizations. We continue our partnership with Every Table, providing weekly meal deliveries to students that requested. This fall, so far, 115 meals have been delivered to students. Next slide. Equity grants. Dr. Curry has led a charge on distributing grants through equity. Currently, we have dispersed a total of $55,000 for the fall 2021 semester. 111 students have been awarded emergency grants through equity, and we're continuing to run campaigns throughout the fall semester. Our goal is to give out $100,000 worth of grants. Just for your information, students just need to be enrolled in one Compton Community College class, and the grants are $500. We are working on getting enough for every student to apply for this grant enrolled in this semester. And for those that did not qualify for the first time, we are working on reaching back to them to have them reapply again. Next slide. Spring planning. So we're going to continue to assess the impact of providing basic services. So look at our data, what we distributed and what we did for students, how it impacts their retention rate, how did it impact their learning, and making sure that we're doing well. We're We need to explore new community-based organization partnerships to help those with housing insecurity. We were partnering with CRCD, but now we're looking for additional partners to help with SHAP opportunities and also just more housing opportunities for our students as we see housing insecurities rise. We do want to increase the number of student applications for equity grants. Like I said, so far, we've only given out 55,000. We want that to be doubled. We would like that to be around 75 to 80,000 right now. So next semester, we want to somewhere around March be at that 80,000 mark. And then continue our efforts to combat food insecurity. Hopefully we can do 2 days a month on campus where we are partnering with the LA County Food Bank. We continue to work with every table as the cafeteria opens. How do we get access to food on campus for students on campus and working with them? And we have Uber Eats cards to give out, and we need a more streamlined process and equitable process of getting those to students. So we'll be working on that as well. Next slide. That is all. Once again, my name is Liddell Willis. I'm the Director of Basic Needs Student Success, and I will open it up to any questions you may have.
Thank you. Board members, do we have any questions or discussions? Trustee Ramos.
No questions. Thank you for the report. It was very informative.
Dr. LeBlanc.
Thank you for the report. I just had one question. I was wondering what the interconnectivity is between our SEP program and other statewide entities or units. How do we connect outside of ourselves?
So when you're saying, just to clarify, Dr. LeBlanc, are you saying how does our SCP plan compare to other colleges' SCP plan?
Not necessarily. Is there is there a way that our SCP kind of, well, yes, compare, but is there a statewide like organization or unit that helps to provide information? I just want to know, what are we, how do we fit into the overall statewide flow of SEPs?
This would probably be a better question for Dr. Curry. I'll answer this the best I can. I would say every college needs to have some kind of equity plan on how they're going to serve disproportionate impacted groups, but there's not necessarily a set statement for everybody.
Okay.
So it's up to each college to form their equity plan based on their population and their needs.
Okay.
Does that make sense? But
yeah.
I would say that would be a better question for Dr. Curry, who would be able to answer that a little better than me.
I think you answered that question very well.
Yes, I think so.
What other colleges are doing. I would just add that Liddell is working with the new student equity plan linked to Compton 2024. And the key for us right now is to really understand our equity definition. And that equity definition will help drive the work that we're doing. But the work we're doing, when you talk about partnerships, we do have a partnership with LA County. And you saw with the food bank, we just created that partnership. We also have a partnership with the Foundation for California Community Colleges regards to Wi-Fi, hotspots, and laptops. And then we also have a partnership with the Department of Public Social Services regards to CalFresh. Okay. So we've been expanding our partnerships, not only statewide, but more so focused specifically in LA County to be able to provide wraparound services to our students. And Liddell, you didn't talk about the housing grants, but we do have a housing grant program that was not as successful as we thought it would be because of the regulations that there are in regards to providing support for rent. And I think we need to rethink that idea as we move forward. But we also created that partnership over last year. So we've created a number of partnerships, and Liddell has been doing a good job working with the Target Support Network and also working with his staff regards to implementation of the many activities that we have.
That is excellent. And Dr. Curry, if you could also just share that little bit of information that you just gave us during my town hall meeting tomorrow, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Up next, we have Trustee Calhoun.
I'm sorry. Great report. I don't know if this is the right question for this right here. What is the current recruitment? I think I heard you talk about it, what you were going to be doing. You're going after getting in touch with the other students. How are you doing that? If I heard you say that.
Are you talking about the grants?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So currently we have the application is right there on our front webpage. So as soon as students log in, they see that and they see the application to apply for needs. We have done informationals through CRM Advise, where we send information out to students that the grants are available. And we also have done announcements on Canvas for students as well.
Okay, all right, okay. I think that's, I love this report. Thank you. Have you been with us for a while? I'm sorry.
No, I just started in June.
You just started in June and this is October and you got this good report?
Well, I've had a lot of help. I have a lot of good people.
I'm just congratulating you for stepping up and doing this and in your position as student basic needs and success. I really appreciate this report from the time you started. I mean, you just have been a go-getter. Thank you. Looking forward to more of your reports.
Thank you. I've had a lot of help. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Dr. Little.
Yes, thank you again so much for this report. As my previous trustees have said, it's been very insightful. I have a couple of questions. If you can maybe roll back the deck a couple of slides. A little bit more right there. The laptops and the technology request. So when you're indicating these are students who without these grants or receipt of this equipment would not be able to access some of their courses or do some of their work.
That's correct. So these are part of the basic needs that we are providing for students to complete their classes.
Okay. And speaking, I know Dr. LeBlanc was asking about the Student Equity and Achievement Program. Is this something that is required across the state? Do you know, and maybe this is something Dr. Curry can ask in terms of a program like this?
Yes.
And so we are adhering to requirements and ensuring that the students have access. I think it's really important. I don't know if we capture either qualitatively or through surveys the impact for students. I know that I have met students in the community in various places as I've talked about Compton College and how vital it is, especially for working professionals who are parents who are not necessarily having extra income, that this has been transformative for them. And I'm wondering if we're capturing any of that data of impact.
So I just want to clarify, Dr. Little, you said the SEP, the Student Equity Plan, that every college does have to do that, but giving out technological requests and basic needs, not every college is doing that.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to clarify, but so one, there is a requirement for the Student Equity Plan, but not all colleges are required to provide this technology.
No.
Okay, so I think it would be really great moving forward if we don't already do it to find a way to capture the impact of this program, because again, as I indicated, when I'm out in the community, reaching out, seeking to recruit students, I'm often very pleasantly surprised when I find out that there are students, and not only are there students, but they talk about some of these programs and the impact they make. You also indicated, if we can go back a slide, around right here, the Charter Support Network. And I see here that we received almost 600 applications. How many people do you all track? How many people participate in this, or in the aggregate take advantage of these programs?
So we are working on that data. Like I said, that's the one we're going to assess. I know Compton College has done it in the past. I believe they did it for fall 2020 and fall 2020, I think spring 2019 before I arrived. So I know that report has been done, but we have not yet done the report for fall 2021. And I believe we still need to work on spring 2020 as well.
Okay, thank you so much. And then finally, it says a combination of managers, faculty, and staff. Do you have that delineated, like how many faculty, how many staff, what managers, and the regularity of staff who support students through this network?
Not off the top of my head. I know that there are some people on this call right now that are a part of it. But we have pretty consistent turnout. We usually have about 10 to 15 people at every meeting.
Right.
And it's usually pretty even across the board. And we now, and I'm happy to report, we now have members from student government as well on there.
Great, to give it forward. Dr. Curry, were you gonna?
Yeah, I can forward you the information in regards to committee members, but that committee has been active for a number of years.
I would really appreciate the information and the different ways that we see staff supporting students with programs like this outside of the classroom. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, board members. Thank you very much, Mr. Willis. Moving on to item 12.02, Compton College dual enrollment.
So now we have Dr. Nelly Alvarado, Director of Educational Partnerships, providing an update on dual enrollment for Compton College.
Good afternoon, Board of Trustees. My name is Nelly Alvarado. I am the Director of Educational Partnerships, here to present on dual enrollment. Next slide. This is a brief overview of the content that will be presented today. What does dual enrollment at Compton College look like? Dual enrollment is a multi-department collaboration, and it really requires that everyone work together in order for this program to be successful. We'll go over or review the different types of dual enrollment data, and early outreach. Next slide. Next slide. So dual enrollment at Compton College. So Compton College admits qualified K-12 students who may have the ability to benefit from concurrently enrolling in college classes while still in high school to minimize the equity gap for access. Now that requirement or eligibility is a 2.0 GPA. Students need to meet that eligibility requirement in order to be eligible to participate in the program. Next slide. This is really truly a multi-department collaboration. It requires collaboration from academic affairs. Academic affairs sets the curriculum for the different programs. They do the faculty assignments. Faculty are assigned off-site. So currently we have all of our AB 288 programs and early college are in person. And it really requires that faculty show up on time to their assignments so that it doesn't mess up with courses taking place at the high schools. It does require collaboration from admissions and records. The Office of Admissions and Records completes the registration on behalf of the student and then provides grades for the high school partners. Counseling and guided pathways. Counseling provides educational planning for students. They manage CRM alerts and progress reports. And this also includes the no Canvas login report. So if a course is taught online and a student has not logged on to Canvas, we're able to see which students need to be followed up on in order to provide technical assistance. Distance education offers support with Canvas or any other type of support related to accessing the course online. The Office of Educational Partnerships works with admissions applications and anything that has to do with onboarding students. providing additional support for students, including managing of early alerts and the Canvas no login reports. And also working with the Office of Basic Needs, Student Basic Needs, we have provided emergency grant aid to dual enrollment students, which are excluded from federal funds. Then we also work with the Student Success Center to provide tutoring services. Next slide. Now for the different types of dual enrollment, we do have regular K through 12. We have afternoon college, Compton Early College High School, AB288 or College and Career Access Pathways, also known as CCAP, and then the California Academy of Math and Science Instructional Service Agreement. Next slide. For regular K through 12, this type of dual enrollment is open to high school students who are not part of an agreement with the K through 12 school district. Students may enroll in any class except for physical or contemporary health courses that have restrictions for K through 12 students. The Office of Educational Partnerships does not facilitate the enrollment process for this group of students. Students must submit all required enrollment documentation directly to the Office of Admissions and Records. Next slide. For afternoon college, these are courses that are open to all students. It's currently offered at 5 of the 16th year high schools within the Compton College service area. So those schools are Centennial, Compton, Dominguez, Firebaugh, and Linwood. Next slide. Compton Early College High School recruits a cohort of 100 to 150 students each year. Currently for fall 2020, we are serving 562 students from Compton Early College High School. Courses are all open to all students, which means that if a regular college student would like to take a class offered at the early college high school, they're able to do that. Students may earn their intersegmental general education transfer curriculum, or Igetc, and or earn an Associate of Arts in General Studies by the end of their senior year. The first cohort from early college graduated in June 2019, which means that they have had 3 graduating cohorts. Next slide. For AB288 and College and Career Access Pathways, these are a series of college courses that lead to an identified guided pathway. Courses are offered at the high school and are integrated in the student's regular high school schedule. And these courses are closed to other students. So only students at the high school are able to take those classes. The participating districts are Compton, Paramount, and Linwood, and then I'll go over the differences between each. Next slide. For Compton Unified School District, their pathway is the Igetc Pathways. Currently, the program serves 73 students from Centennial, 67 students from Compton, and 124 students from Dominguez High School. Next slide. Currently, Centennial High School is offering a new program, which is opening an Igetc pathway for 9th graders. So this fall, we are serving 196 9th graders. We're offering a total of 10 sections, which are 5 sections of human development, 3 sections of music, 111, and 2 sections of theater, 113. Next slide. For Paramount Unified, they offer the Administration of Justice Pathways, currently serving 3 cohorts. The first cohort serves 30 students. They're in year 3 of the program. 33 students for cohort number 2, who are in year 2, and then 21 students for cohort 3, who are currently in their cohort in year number 1. Next slide. For Linwood Unified, they offer the intersegmental general education curriculum, or the pathway. Linwood has 2 cohorts, 27 for cohort 1, 14 students for cohort 2, and Firebaugh started their first cohort this fall with 29 students. Next slide. The California Academy of Math and Science, or CAMS, we do have an instructional service agreement with them. It started in fall 2019, and it does serve 326 students. Next slide. So we'll go over some dual enrollment data. I am going to present data on 2019-20, and then 2020-21. So what you see here is the unique student count for both years. We did serve a lower number of students in 2020-21, given the pandemic. But if you see at the total enrollment stayed almost the same or increased by a little. So even though the unique student count is less, we do have a lot of students taking more than one course, which is the reason why you see that total and number not really dropping in comparison to 1920. Now, it is also important to note that in both years, 1920 and 2021, we did meet the institutional set goal of 1,206 dual enrollment students, which is what we have. In 2019-20, there were 249 EW grades that were excluded from the enrollment count, and there was only one in 2020-21. Next slide. This is a gender breakdown. So as you could see, about 37% are males. Females, it's in the 60%. And then we do have a few students who did not report or identified as non-binary, and the number was small. That's why the actual number is suppressed. That's why you see the asterisk. Next slide. This is the ethnicity and race breakdown. So what you'll see is that we did have a drop in Latinx enrollment in 2020-21, while we saw slight increases in other ethnicities, which include Asian, African American, Pacific Islander went from 0 to 8, white 25 to 30, or 1% increases in those. Next slide. And then this is the success rate. So the overall success rate was in the 80 percentile in 1920. That did decrease in 2020-21, with African American students experiencing the largest decline in success rate. Just wanted to note that for 2020-21, so you have a point of reference, the success rates for the general college student population is 70%, I'm sorry. Next slide. This is what you see for dual enrollment counts from 2016 to 2021. So you're able to see that the number of dual enrollment students has more than doubled since 2016. And we have met the institutional set goal of 1,206 in fall 20, fall 21, spring 20, spring 21. Next slide. This is the data for fall 2021. So we have a total of 1,885 course registrations. And then you will see that that total registration count is higher than the student count, because students do take 2 or 3 classes once they get into their 3rd or 4th year, more specifically for the early college students. So they have approximately a little over 500 students, but if you count the course registration, it's 790. Next slide. If this is a breakdown of the course registration by district, and as you'll see, Compton Unified has the largest at 71%, followed by Long Beach Unified School District, which represents CAMS, followed by Paramount with 6%, and then Linwood Unified with also 6%. Next slide. Now, we do support success for students and retention. So we do have 3 dual enrollment specialists that came on board as of June 2020. They manage early alerts. So anytime a faculty enters an alert for students that they have not showed up to class or are not doing well in the class, they do make phone calls. Right now, we are providing in-person services at the high schools, so they're able to call the students out to offer support. They do make referrals to tutoring or any other academic services, refer students to basic needs support. We do registration checks to make sure that they're still registered. They manage the Canvas no login report. So as I mentioned, if a student has not logged into Canvas during the first 2 weeks of school, they do get a phone call. Equity grant efforts, and they do hold weekly office hours. Next slide. Now, early outreach. We are working on doing middle school outreach. We did submit proposals to have STEM and eSports summer programs that'll be advertised to middle school students. We have obtained directory information to target parents because they are minors for all of our partner districts. So we have the data for Compton and Linwood, and for Paramount Unified, we have data for the seniors. And then we are working on recruitment videos, which include English and in Spanish, also targeting parents. Next slide. That brings us to the end of the presentation, so I'll take any questions.
Thank you. Board members, do you have any questions or discussion? Trustee Ramos.
Yes, I don't know if when it comes to the different types of dual enrollment, what's the cost to students from each one, or is it free to all students?
It is free to all students. So I'll make sure to add that to our next presentation. But all dual enrollment students, it waives the tuition fee. And it also applies for students who are non-residents. Because all of them, we're working with our partner high school districts. The high school districts purchase books for the students. So it is zero cost for the students.
And my last question, could you explain the difference, it's on slide 19, between unique count and total enrollment?
Yeah, so unique count would be, let's say we have 10 students. We don't count anyone more than once, but I'm taking 3 classes. So I would be counted in the total enrollment 3 times because it's a different class.
Oh, I get it now. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's all I had. Thank you for the report.
Moving on, Dr. LeBlanc.
Yes, first of all, thank you so much for the report. It was very well done. I just had a quick question about your counseling with the early alert impact. I was wondering if once a student has been identified through your early alert system, does that in any way impact their enrollment into the next semester? Is one question, because I'm just wondering if once they've been identified as low performance, do you continuously enroll them in classes, or is there a tutorial program or something set up? That's one. And then the second comment was, I just wanted to congratulate the program in the success that it's having with the Paramount partnership. 84 students participating, even though it's over a 3-year period. That is outstanding, especially for Paramount. And I'm very, very proud of that, and hope that we will continue to build up enrollment with the Paramount partnership as we move forward. But that was the question I had about the early alert system. Thank you.
No problem. So I'll take your question. So with regards to whether a student's restricted from taking an additional class, a dual enrollment student is a college student. So we don't make it, we only make a distinction because we do need to share information about the programs and how they're doing, but they follow the same process as any regular college students, where if they fall, they could do academic or progress probation, where they're put on a warning before they're put on academic or progress probation level 1 or 2 before they are dismissed. So it's the same process for dual enrollment students.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, board members. Moving on to Trustee Calhoun.
Yes, can you go to page 4, please, of your PowerPoint? Good PowerPoint.
Thank you.
Okay, it says Compton College admits qualified K-12 students who may have belly, right?
Yes.
And you say you have to have a 2.0 GPA?
That's correct.
What happens if a person does not have a 2.0 GPA? What do you do for that person that is interested in college, but they don't have a 2.0 GPA? How do you help them?
Yeah, unfortunately, that is our administrative regulation. We do require the 2.0 GPA, which is in line with other community colleges such as Cerritos, Long Beach City, or El Camino. What we do is we do work really closely with our high school partners. So we usually have a conversation with the student about bringing that GPA up so that they could meet that 2.0 GPA requirement. We don't have many students that apply and are not eligible. And usually we tell them and encourage them to raise their grades and their GPA so that they can try the following semester, since we do have it ongoing.
How do you convince them to raise them up? Do you tell them do you inform them of what classes they need to take? And here, listen. Here's a student that doesn't have a 2.0 GPA, homeless, or even living with their parents, and they work hard, but they just can't get that 2.0. And they really want to go to college. If they can't get it up to a 2.0, you just don't let them in? How do you help that student? Do you make sacrifices for that student? Because it's about the students. And I understand regulations, you can't break them, but it has to be some type of program for a student that just cannot get to that 2.0, or either they was at 2.0 and then they go down. I'm just asking this question, what do you do?
Unfortunately, that is our administrative regulation board policy that they need to have a 2.0. So unless that policy changes, then we wouldn't be able to accept the student.
Right.
So, no. So are you saying that as a board of trustees, we need to change that board policy?
No.
Yeah, but
No. Wait, I understand. I want to hear it from her. I got it.
But Trustee Calhoun, you're asking a policy question. And
Okay.
the board policy,
You answer it.
The board policy was developed a couple of years ago working with the Academic Senate. And so when we worked on that policy, it was determined based off of our surrounding who we served with the 2.0 GPA, because we feel the students with 2.0 GPA will be successful. The question will be, students with below a 2.0, will they be successful in a community college course? And research doesn't support that. So the question that I think you're going to, if there's someone that's interested in our classes, is there other services they can be referred to? Could they be referred to our Upper Bound program? Could they be referred to any other programs that are being offered to support those students? And I think that's another piece of that question that we can look at, like developing a referral program for students who are below the 2.0, to be able to refer them to other programs that might help be able to support them at their high school site, and then encouraging them to get to 2.0 in order to meet our policy.
Okay, you're exactly right. Thank you for clarifying it. You're exactly right. But I think that is a way to go. I really do, because I would hate to see any student that has a passion for college but just can't get that 2.0. Okay, that's on page 4. Moving right along. Hold on, page 9. Page 9. This question is probably for Dr. Curry. Dr. Curry, is this a policy also about Students may enroll in any class except physical education or contemporary health courses.
Yeah, that's a policy from the state, and Sherry Bird could actually add more information about Title V as relates to physical education courses and the percentage we're allowed to offer for those students. Sherry?
Yes, so in our attendance accounting regulations, we are not allowed to have more than 10% of any physical education course be comprised of K through 12 enrollment students. So that would be, it's a very low number of students. In the past, other districts have received had to pay back money to the state chancellor's office because they had too many K through 12 students in physical education. So it's easier for us to have it as a something we don't offer to those students while they're in high school. The high schools do offer physical education. And so those students are welcome to come once they graduate 12th grade, but while they're in high school, they cannot enroll in physical education.
Okay. Page 10, please. Okay. Compton High School is torn down. There's no more Compton High School. Where did the students go, and do you know where the students went to? And so why do we still have Compton High School? Is this because of 2020 or 2021? There's no more Compton High School at all.
Yeah, so all of the Compton High School students are currently at Roosevelt Middle School, and they still call themselves Compton High School, even though they're at a different location site.
So you're going to keep it as Compton High School, even though they are at Roosevelt?
I mean, they have like their separate location where they house the Compton High School students, and to keep them separate from the middle schoolers, but that is their location, temporary location, as the school is being rebuilt.
Okay. On page 11, you talk about the first student cohort graduated in June of 2019. That's on page 11. When is the next student cohort graduation?
So they'll have one every year after that. So the next one will be 2022.
Oh, okay. Page 12, when you talk about courses are offered at the high school and are integrated, courses are closed to other students. What are you talking about when you say that?
Yeah, so all of the AB 288 agreements have written in the MOU that courses are only for the students at their respective high school. So that's why it's closed to other students. It's part of the MOU.
Okay, I wasn't sure, but I just wanted to ask that. I think that, I'm sorry.
I said no problem.
Oh, this is a very good report. I just don't understand abbreviations. On page 14, what is HDEV, and is MUSI music or is THEA theater? And is
human development, music, and theater.
Okay, I figured the music, guessed on theater, but I just didn't know what the HD. Okay, thank you. I like this report. Very in-depth, very informative. I thank you for answering my questions. And I don't have any more, but this is a real good report. Thank you for a job well done.
Thank you.
Little. Yes, thank you so much for the report. I have a couple of questions. If we can start right there on slide 14. When you talk about the 10 sections, are these the ones offered specifically at Centennial for the 9th graders?
That is correct.
But we have other course offerings across the other schools in addition to those?
Yes.
Okay. Also, when on slide, I believe it's 23. Yes, 23. Want to look at the numbers a little bit, starting with the winter of 2018. Can you tell me why it's so low there?
So we started our dual enrollment programs in 2016. What you will see is that for the most part in 16, 17, and a little bit of 18, we only had afternoon college as part of our dual enrollment program. So in 2019, I'm sorry, early college started with cohort 1, right? So they started with 9th graders, they turned to 10th graders, so they slowly started increasing numbers. So that's why you see kind of like the slow growth over time. And that's also the same case with the AB288 programs. The one that's the longest standing is the one for Paramount that has 3 cohorts. And then you'll see Linwood Fireball, for example, has their first cohort. So 4 years from now, they'll have 4 full cohorts at a time. And that's why you see the numbers slowly increasing because those programs didn't exist at the time.
Okay, and then thank you for that answer. And then on that same slide where you said met institutional set goal. So it was the stated goal per year 1,206 students?
That's correct.
And so this fall, we have 1,657 students?
Yes.
Okay, so both in the spring and in the fall, and last year in the spring and in the fall, we exceeded the goal.
Correct.
Okay, and all of these students, as you indicated earlier, are actual college students?
Yes.
Okay, and so they are recipients and many of them are graduating with an AA. So these are students that we are serving through a different capacity. Who teaches these courses?
So it's our faculty, same faculty that teach here at the college. So we have full-time faculty, part-time faculty that are assigned to those classes.
Okay, so these students are full-time in the sense of regular collegiate students, and these are our numbers and they are taught by faculty.
Correct.
Okay, thank you very much for this report. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the presentation.
You're welcome.
Moving on to item number 13, reports from representatives and employee organizations. 13.01, Associated Student Government Report, Stephanie Leonor del Cid.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Compton College colleagues, and honored guests. My name is Stephanie Leonor del Cid, and I serve as the ASD President for the 2021-2022 academic year. I'm here today to provide the ASD report for October. First, we are proud to announce that ASG, in partnership with Compton College, the Office of Student Development, and Maryland's Old Fashioned Burgers, have created a series of food truck Tuesdays for the month of October. From October 12th, 19th, and the 26th, a food truck located at Lot A at Compton College is offering free meals to current students and staff at no cost. Second, ASG completed its first professional development event hosted by the Student Senate for California Community College from October 1st to the 3rd. We were excited to network with other students' government throughout the state of California and to hear the good work that the SSCCC is doing. Third, ASG attended their first identity workshop in Emerging Leadership Institute. We're working extremely hard to continue to be a better team to better serve Compton students. Fourth, ASG fulfilled 3 of our standing ASG positions, as well as the standing committees. They all have now an active ASG member. We have also created a mascot committee and have 2 Compton College students and 3 ASG members collaborating with said committee. Fifth, ASG, together with the Office of Student Development, hosted 6 virtual events for this Latinx Heritage Month, as well as a virtual escape room. Lastly, the ASG worked with the football team and the Director of Athletics to create a highlights video for our football team's first at home game, as well as edited and posted our very first welcome video and vaccination video. This will conclude my ASG report for the month of October. Thank you and have a great evening.
Thank you. I'm moving on to item number 13.02, Academic Senate Report. Dr. Minadora Maldiview.
Thank you. Good evening, Board of Trustees. As you may know, our campus overwhelmingly voted in support of a vote of no confidence resolution for Dr. Keith Curry and Vice President of Academic Affairs, Sherry Berger. In Academic Senate, 75% of our senators voted in support of the resolution. In the classified union, 77% of the votes supported the resolution. And in the faculty union, 93% supported the vote of no confidence resolution. In the next few minutes, I would like to explain what has led to such strong action from an overwhelming majority of our campus. I would like to start with the words of Brene Brown, a research professor at University of Houston and University of Texas, a researcher who has been studying leadership attributes for 2 decades. In her book, Dare to Lead, she states that daring leaders must be connected to the people they lead. Apparently, data reveal that having this human connection or caring for the people one leads is not just desirable, but it is absolutely vital. Respect the trustees, but the faculty at Compton College have had a leader who openly stated in the presence of others that he despised faculty. Let me tell you, that is not care. And this attitude of despise towards faculty bleeds into Dr. Curry's actions on many fronts. I will mention a few of them today. 1, faculty are expected to go above and beyond our contractual obligations and do it for no pay. While the faculty at other colleges are compensated for time spent on campus projects outside of their contract, we at Compton College are expected to do it for free. That is not care. 2, faculty are provided extremely low compensation for any faculty held positions for doing vital tasks on this college, like student learning outcome facilitators or student learning outcome coordinators, program review coordinators, Senate officer positions, and many others. Taking people for granted is not care, and it is definitely not equitable. 3, right now, while still teaching mostly online, we don't even have a distance education department during a pandemic, because not only were the faculty in those positions so severely undercompensated, but they were under the abusive leadership of Vice President Berger, who bullied them repeatedly, so they both quit. During the summer, that is. And since then, our administration has not felt the need to finish the ongoing negotiations so new staff can be hired. That leaves 100 full-time faculty and whatever leftover adjuncts we still have, many of whom are new to teaching online, to just figure it out. That is not care. That is not care to our faculty, and that is not care to our students. Number 4, our administration exhibits incredibly disrespectful behavior during negotiations with both faculty and classified, using bad faith negotiation tactics repeatedly, not keeping their word, and using a very aggressive tone during negotiations. That is not inclusive. That is not care. That is despise. 5, both Dr. Curry and VP Berger disrespect the law granted authority of the Academic Senate over academic matters by rewriting Senate ratified documents, which is not only demeaning, but also illegal. On all other campuses, as the law dictates, the Academic Senate is supposed to have a direct connection to the Board of Trustees, where the Senate can send documents directly to be included in the board agenda, but not on this campus. Dr. Curry and VP Berger act as gatekeepers, ensuring you never hear directly from us. Our only connection to you is through this oral report. This is not lawful, and this is not care. This is despise. And I'm very saddened that all of you trustees made the decision to support Dr. Curry before you even gave us the chance to talk so you could hear our side. That is not inclusive. That is not care. We reached out to you individually via email, asking so you would meet with us so you can hear also our side of the story. And not a single one of you so much as acknowledged that email. That is not inclusive. And let me tell you, that is not care. Number 6, both Dr. Curry and VP Berger micromanage decisions at every layer of this campus with an assumption that one person is an expert at everything. Nobody is an expert at everything. And neither is Dr. Curry, and neither is VP Berger. They deny recommendations from the experts at the different levels and only implement their own ideas. That is not inclusive. That is not care. That is arrogant. Number 7, we have had a declining enrollment for 10 years. How could Dr. Curry not have noticed? Why didn't Dr. Curry take measures? He watched our enrollment on a downward trend and did nothing differently. That is not care. Not for our students, not for the faculty, not for this campus, and not for this community. Number 8 and last, Dr. Curry ensures himself a hefty raise year after year in spite of the poor performance. But for faculty, after several years of a thriving economy, he approved a measly 1.5% leftover breadcrumbs from his royal meal. That is not equitable, and that is not care. That denies our humanity and also having to pay for our housing, for our food, to pay our bills, and to raise our families. That is definitely not care. Who is he an equity vendor for other than himself? Dear trustees, we have been tolerating this lack of care for a long time, and we would maybe even put up with it longer if the college was actually doing well. We might still tolerate the authoritarian regime, the micromanaging, the denying of expert opinions and of inclusivity, the disrespect, the bullying, and the lack of appropriate pay, if at least the campus was actually doing well. But when we see the lack of care lead to our college crumbling before our eyes, we can no longer be silent. When the authoritarian leaders' decisions and actions result in a loss of 50% of our student enrollment, we cannot be silent. When for 10 years straight, our administration did not change the enrollment and recruitment strategies, doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results, we cannot be silent. While Dr. Curry denies creative and inclusive recommendations for many faculty and classified, we cannot be silent. When Dr. Curry and VP Berger keep denying the Academic Senate its rightful authority on academic matters, we cannot be silent. When plans are poorly implemented by administration due to lack of planning and lack of care, we cannot be silent. Whether it be the poor implementation of the banner system that prevented many students from registering for classes, the very unsafe safe return to campus plan, the continued poor maintenance of so many of our buildings or appropriate ventilation systems in so many of our classrooms, or the implementation of the AB705, we cannot be silent. Dr. Curry has had 10 years to figure out and make it better, and things have not changed. Please, let's not continue doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results, because we already know what that is the definition for. It's insanity, so let's not be insane. The Academic Senate chose to vote against insanity by approving the vote of no confidence resolution by a 75% approval rate. Our classified union chose the same way with an approval of 77%, and our faculty union approved the resolution by 93% approval rate. In closing, I want to remind you of what Brené Brown wrote in her book, Dare to Lead. Remember, she stated that daring leaders must care for the people they lead, and that this human connection is absolutely vital. Brené Brown continues in the same paragraph by saying that if a leader does not have a sense of care towards those they lead, then there are only two options. 1, develop the care, or 2, leave so we can find a better leader who cares. It has been 10 years since Dr. Curry's been here, and if after 10 years, Dr. Curry still does not care about the members of this campus, he never will. And that is why we overwhelmingly approved the vote of no confidence resolution. We hope you do too. We need new leadership now. So I call that at the next board meeting in November, you please accept the vote of no confidence resolution as an action item. It cannot just be informal. The campus is already informed. The campus needs action. The campus needs new leadership now. Thank you.
Moving on to item 13.03, CCCFE Certified Employees Report, Holly Schumacher.
Thank you. Board of Trustees and Special Trustee Jean Farrell. You have heard the public comments from employees of the district tonight that specifically speak to the long-standing problems that have plagued Compton College for years and are the direct cause of the unsatisfactory leadership that we currently have at the college. Tonight, I would like to address the board regarding the vote of no confidence resolution that was affirmed in a landslide victory vote from the classified union, the faculty union, and the academic senate bodies at Compton College. It is now your moral, ethical, and financial responsibility to immediately terminate Dr. Curry and VP Sherry Berger from their respective positions. The united constituency at Compton College demands and deserves new leadership now. On September 10th, 2021, the faculty union held a vote for the vote of no confidence resolution, and it was approved with 93.4% support. We had more faculty vote on this resolution than any other item we have ever brought forth to the body, including those sad salary increases since I have been president of the Federation. This unity across the campus is indicative of the shared belief that Keith Curry and Sherry Berger are failing in their respective positions and that they must be terminated for the sake of saving the college. The resolution came about during a discussion in a faculty union meeting on August 20th. The faculty started to voice their utter disdain and dissatisfaction with the performance of President Curry and VP Berger. This discussion quickly led to a demand from the faculty body for a vote of no confidence resolution. The Federation then began to research the extent of the President and VP Berger's shortcomings, and quite frankly, it was easy to compile the unsatisfactory aspects of their performance that directly correlates with their district job descriptions. President Curry has produced a consistent enrollment decline for the entire tenure of his position as president CEO at the college. This evidence is unrefuted and backed by data from institutional research, and the enrollment numbers are reported to Datamart through the Chancellor's office. Anyone can view them. Additionally, President Curry has persistently shown a lack of innovation on campus, which coincides with a lack of shared governance and flatly ignoring the concerns of stakeholders on campus for over a decade. This has clearly been a contributing factor to the student experience at the college and the primary reason why students have left the college in droves. You see, the plans created by the president are the only ones implemented, and they are poorly executed at that. This can be seen with the outreach and recruitment efforts, which have garnered a decade-long enrollment decline. The response to the COVID-19 related safety issues and protocols on campus, including our HVAC systems. The implementation of Banner, which consistently brings about enrollment problems and creates barriers to student success. Our current president has known for over a decade that our students struggle to graduate due to a lack of certain classes being offered for a number of majors at the college. He still has not ratified or rectified this problem, forcing so many of our students to attend other colleges in order to graduate. As we heard earlier, the first-year experience program is dead. We have little to no students left in the honors program. FIST for our incarcerated students is down to its last student. Our programs are not dying, they are dead in the water. The numbers don't lie. Our current enrollment at the college is at the same rate as it was when we lost accreditation. You can see these numbers online on the Chancellor's office at Datamart right now. It's public information. We don't have an out like partnering with El Camino like we did before. We're on our own now. So this epic failure of the current administration has to stop. President Curry must take ownership of his decisions His unsatisfactory performance lays squarely on his shoulders. He must be removed in order to save the college. Working in tandem with the president, VP Berger has created and perpetuated a toxic and hostile working environment. Her overt abuse of Compton employees has led to all three stakeholders at the college overwhelmingly agreeing to a vote of no confidence in her leadership abilities. In just 1 year of her working at the college, VP Berger has gotten innumerable grievances filed against her and currently has an open Title IX discrimination complaint investigating her malfeasance. VP Berger is a liability to the district. Her behavior should no longer be tolerated, and her employment at the college should be terminated. So, you see, the vote of no confidence resolution did not come about on a whim. The movement at our college right now to remove President Curry and VP Berger is neither flippant nor is it without merit. This has been a long time coming, and it's coming on the heels of consistent failure to perform the duties for which they have been assigned. The employees of Compton College have had enough. The classified, the faculty, the academic senate stakeholders matter, and we have spoken. Across the campus, we are united, we stand together, and we are demanding new leadership now. Board of Trustees and Special Trustee, please understand, we do not need reform. We need new leadership to transform the college. Things are never going to improve under the current leadership. Honor the vote of no confidence resolution that was ratified in a landslide victory vote from the classified union, the faculty union, and the academic senate bodies at Compton College by immediately terminating Dr. Keith Curry and Sherry Berger from their respective positions. The unified constituents and the students at Compton College deserve new leadership now. Thank you.
Well, moving on to 13.04, CCC of E Classified Employees Report, Amengwa McKenzie.
Good evening, Board of Trustees.
You have some connection problems, Mr. McKenzie. Your audio is not good.
Moving to a different location. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, it's still not a stable connection.
Okay, it's the part of the campus I'm on. Hopefully you can hear me. Can you hear me better now?
Barely.
Okay, so recently, the classified employees of Local 3046 did a vote of no confidence resolution, which was approved by over 77% of the local. The faculty local also did a vote of no confidence, which was approved by more than 93% of the local. The academic senate also did a vote of no confidence resolution, which was also approved by 75% of the academic senate. Now, we've had a consistent enrollment decline for the entire tenure of Dr. Curry's position. All three stakeholder groups agree with this. The lack of innovation on our campus comes from a lack of shared governance and ignoring the ideas and concerns of all stakeholders for over a decade. This is a contributing factor to our students leaving in large numbers. the lack of innovation on our campus. I'm sorry. The plans created by Dr. Curry are the only ones implemented, and they are executed poorly. Outreach and recruitment, COVID-19 related safety issues and protocols, including HVAC, better implementation, enrollment issues, and there are even more issues among the classified employees that receive little mention or resolution. Dr. Curry has known for over a decade that students struggle to graduate on time due to lack of course offerings, and he has now rectified this problem, forcing our students to attend other colleges to graduate. Dr. Curry must take ownership of these decisions. He is to blame. VP Sherry Berger's toxic leadership and abuse was so overt that it led to all three stakeholders agreeing in the vote of no confidence. All stakeholders matter, and all stakeholder groups have spoken out. Some classified employees are tired of working long hours for no additional pay. They're tired of being disrespected. They're tired of the bullying. And they're tired of being treated like they don't matter. The campus stakeholders agree that it's time for new leadership. Not much is going to change until we get new leadership. We have been doing the same thing for over a decade and expecting improved results. We will only continue to stay on this downward trajectory until we lose hold harmless. We don't need reform. We need leadership to transform the college. Things are never going to improve under the current leadership. Thank you very much.
Moving on to item 14 for consent agenda. Board members, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Trustee Ramos and seconded by Dr. LeBlanc. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Dr. LeBlanc.
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun.
14, yes, 14, 18. I mean,
Is that
13.
the only one?
14, 13, yes.
14, 13 and 14, 18?
No, not 14, 18, that was a mistake. 14, 13.
All right. Dr. Little.
Yes, it was, I'm just looking for the number. 1410.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
1410.
1410. Is that the only one?
Yes.
All right. So we can go up with yours first, 1410.
Yes, I just wanted to know how this was going to be implemented and for whom.
So this item was actually a part of the teacher learning, where we allocated $250,000 for faculty professional development. And this was set up through the counseling department and their one of their projects for $37,000. And I think, is Dean Jimenez on the line?
Hi, President Curry, I am.
Can you please talk about the Myers-Briggs?
Yes. It's a career assessment that we submitted. One of our counseling PD liaisons, Dr. Raquel Michelle Jackson, in consultation with additional stakeholders, we submitted this as part of the teaching and learning proposals. The Myers-Briggs Mbti assessment is going to be very helpful and meaningful, especially with the implementation, the continued implementation of the Guided Pathways framework. One of the key components is career. And so we've already had some training around strong assessment, and MBTI will definitely complement the strong assessment. Our goal is to have our full-time counselors trained on the MBTI in December. Some of the full-time counselors, actually most of the tenured counselors have already been trained with MBTI, and we were able to secure MBTI training to our human development faculty as well. So it's going to be really good to have both instructional and counseling faculty trained on MBTI.
Thank you for that clarification, especially since a lot of not only corporate environments, but graduate programs, both in business and in psychology and many other disciplines, especially graduate programs like MBAs, and to provide that here for our students at the collegiate level at Compton College is very innovative, and I think very much focused on the overall success of our students. So thank you very much, and I think it's a very worthwhile investment.
All right, thank you. Trustee Calhoun, 14.13.
1413, This is the one about the redistricting?
Yes.
All right, it is. Okay, how does the community get involved? I thought that there was gonna be, unless I'm looking at the wrong one, where a community member would be on this assignment also?
So in the discussion action agenda for today, that's where the board's gonna have a conversation. And we also have the consultant here to talk about that, to talk about their work. And then we are putting together a committee. The applications are the letter of interest are due by November 2nd.
November what?
November 2nd.
And it's on the web page, it's on our,
we did a press release and we put the information out, also sent an email reminder to board members about it as well. But we're gonna be following back up again this week with another reminder regards to individuals served on the committee. But we have that agenda item today, which also has the timeline.
okay, and is it some person from each district, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
That was the goal.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Board members, seeing no further discussion, Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little. Dr. Little,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
President Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
I said aye. I apologize. I'm having some connectivity issues.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item number 15, action items. Dr. Curry, before I continue, which ones are able to be grouped and which ones are not? Just because I know my board members.
So you can, give me 1 second. Item 15 has to be done separate. You can group.
Can you repeat? Sorry, item 1501.
15.01 can be, that has to be separate. 15.02, 15.03, 15.05, and 15.06, 15.07 can be grouped. So the ones that gotta be separate is 15.01 and also 15.04.
All right, board members, before I move forward with individual votes, you have heard which ones are able to be grouped. There does need to be a motion if that's the request. If not, I will individually go through each one in the action items.
I need 1505 to be discussed. I don't want it in the group.
That's fine. You don't have, there isn't a motion. I said if there is a motion that was going to, every meeting it gets asked how we can group them. So I just asked the question, but there isn't a motion. We can individually go through each one on number 15.
Madam President, I would like to make a motion that we group the items that were identified by Dr. Curry with the exception of 1505 for Trustee Calhoun.
So I will name them so that everybody knows that is 15.02, 15.03, and 15.06 and 15.07.
Correct.
I have a question for 6 and 7.
There's still discussion, but
yeah,
do you want
discussion?
Oh yeah. So
Okay.
the motion right now will be to cast a vote for the grouped items.
Yes.
There's a motion on the floor. It does not have a second.
Second.
It's been seconded by Dr. Little. We're gonna open it to discussion. Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Dr. LeBlanc.
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun.
Discussion. So this one I can talk about the ones that you grouped that I want to talk about?
Yes.
You want to pull
Okay.
them up? Just you want to give me the numbers, and then I'm going to connect with. I'm going to call
Okay,
Dr. Little and see which one she needs to pull.
Okay, 1505, 6 and 7.
5 is on a separate vote, so it's just 6 and 7.
Okay, then 6 and 7 need to be on a separate vote.
No, you want to have a discussion. Right now, I'm identifying 6 and 7 as a discussion.
Yes.
Yes. Dr. Little, do you have anything to discuss?
No.
Okay. Trustee Calhoun, 15.06.
5 starts with 5.
5 we're doing as a separate vote.
Separate.
Okay, well, 1506. If you pull it up, 1506, I need to know what does, unless I missed it or didn't see it, what does Stanley Convergent Security Solution have to do with these other companies? If you pull up 1506.
It's a typo, Trustee Calhoun. That's a great catch. This should be with QDocs.
Oh.
So throughout the item is correct, except the narrative says Stanley should be QDocs.
TWO?
QDocs.
Oh, Q, okay.
It's correct everywhere else except that one section.
Okay. Okay, so now 1507?
Yes.
All right. So 1507, you went out to bid. You had 3 different companies. Am I at the right one? 1507?
I don't know how to pronounce the company, but it's STRUERE Incorporated.
It's 3 bids. They went out to bid. They had 3 different companies. If you look in.
Oh, yes. I see the attachments. Yes.
Okay. On the attachment, you had 3 bids. The contract was given to STRUERE, but they all 3 had the same amount of money. The only difference is, however you say STRUE, is the only one that worked at our college before. The other 2 haven't. But the one of them, the only difference is, why was that one chosen when they were in second position and the other bid is in the first position? If you open it up, you'll see 1, 2, and 3. And number 1 was given to, I don't have mine open. 2 was, right. And 2 was given to STRUEV, and number 3 was somebody else. How did, is that Strove or Stru or whatever?
So Trustee Calhoun, I will have Linda Owens speak to the process. So they had a committee that reviewed the recommendation, the 3 different firms, and they did a scoring. So Linda, can you talk about that, please? Linda Owens?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, we had a committee. There were 7 proposals to review. Of those 7, we chose 5 to interview through the committee. And then we held the interviews on October 8th. And of those interviewed, those were the top 3 that are listed in the memo. Struair was selected because they have worked with the district, but even more importantly, the PE complex project we've discovered some soil mitigation issues that we are concerned we're going to have to do the same thing with the Visual and Performing Arts project. So in order to keep the continuity with the state, Struer was selected. So
Even though,
yeah.
I'm sorry, finish.
So Struer was selected.
Even though they were in second place.
Even though they were in second place. We don't have to, in cases of professional services, we don't have to take the lowest bidder.
They all bid the same. The
So,
bids are the same. The only difference, pull it up, Dr. Curry. The bids are the same. The only difference is between 1, 2, and 3. Number 2 is the one that has a history with Compton College, whereas the other 2 do not. So I know that we always go by the, what is it? The most responsible bid, but if they all bid the same, then number 2 was picked because they had previous experience with Compton College, and you didn't go for the first one, even though they were in first position?
We also had a letter of recommendation from our construction and management firm. And again, at the time we sent out the bids, we had no idea that we were going to run into issues with the soil under the PE complex, which is adjacent to the Visual and Performing Arts complex. So they came in second by a few points. I did not vote, neither did PCM3. We had removed ourselves from the voting process, although we participated in collecting. At the end of the day, it was chosen to go with Struer for continuity and the fact that we're more than likely going to have to go back to the state to request additional funding if we find the same issues that we're finding under the PE complex. So we'll be able to expedite these issues because we're on a tight time schedule with the state. We only have until January of 22 to get all the documentation together and submit it back to the state. And it's a really tight timeline.
But because that company wrote a letter for Strove, that had a lot of weight to it also?
That had a lot of weight to it as well.
And nobody wrote a letter for the other 2 companies?
So Trustee Calhoun, the letter that we received from the PCM3, which is our construction management firm, they provide us with the recommendation. The major concern and the reason why we want to move forward with this company is this this issue we're dealing with the physical education complex and deal with the state that we're experiencing it right now. And the costs for both firms are the same. And that's why the recommendation was to go with the second one.
No, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. The other 2 companies, well, the one that's in the number 1 position, do you know if they have ever worked with soil problems? Now, we already knew we had a soil issue, right?
No, at that time we submitted the RFQ, no.
You didn't, so you found out afterwards?
Correct.
And so when you found out afterwards, there could not have been an addendum to the RFP?
At that time, no. Again, we're on a really tight time schedule to get the preliminary plans.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I understand the tight schedule. I understand how important this project is because I want to see this project go forth. I was just very concerned with the process. That's all. That's where my questions are coming from about the process. If you said you and the other person, P, whatever, did not vote, you stayed out of it. And even when you stayed out of it, the other people voted, gave the edge to number one and not number two. That's all.
Yes.
That's all.
No further questions on that one, Trustee Calhoun?
Nope.
All right. Dr. Little. Okay. Seeing none, Ms. Pollock.
I'm sorry, Trustee Lopez. I didn't realize I was muted. I was saying you were asking about this issue. If I had any questions.
If you had any comments or concerns, because I was going to do the roll call.
The vote. Yeah, I just have one comment, just as for clarifying question, actually. Of the final three that were listed, those are recommendations from the committee, but you have full option to choose whomever.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
And if we wanted to see the delineation of 6 points, it could be on different categories that don't necessarily meet the needs, the most urgent needs of the project.
And Linda can answer that, but I was, Linda, you want to answer that part of the question before I make a statement?
Sure, they could be spread across. We had a total of 17 questions that they were ranking, so yes.
Okay. But at the end of the day, all three of the finalists would be qualified based upon the state to do the project?
Qualified based on the information we had at the time, yes.
But I mean, in terms of their qualifications, they wouldn't have made it this far if they weren't qualified to do the project, is what I'm asking.
Correct.
That's it, Trustee Lopez.
All right, Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Okay, we're doing the roll call on which numbers?
So the motion on the floor that was pushed would be for items, hold on, let me get my number. Items 15.02, 15.03, 15.06, and 7 have all been grouped as one vote.
And 1505 is a single vote?
15.01, 15.04, and 15.05 are individual votes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
No problem. Ms. Paula?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc, Dr. LeBlanc,
I said aye.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Trustee Calhoun,
Trustee Calhoun, oh.
Trustee Calhoun.
Aye, I'm sorry, aye. You answered my questions good, thank you. Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
President Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 15.01, resolution number 1019, 2021, C, resolution of the Board of Trustees of the Compton Community College District, Los Angeles County, California, authorizing the issuance of Compton Community College District, Los Angeles County, California, general obligation bonds, election of 2014, series 2018A, and actions related thereto. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Been moved by Dr. Yep, it's been moved by Dr. Little, but I am waiting for a second.
Second.
And it's been seconded by Dr. LeBlanc. Do we have any discussions? Trustee Ramos,
No discussion.
Dr. LeBlanc,
No discussion.
Trustee Cajon,
No discussion.
Dr. Little? Oh,
No discussion.
Trustee Cajon, did you say no discussion?
No discussion.
Okay. Seeing no discussion, Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
President Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
15.04 Administrative Services, Compton Community College District Resolution Number 1019-2021E, Budget Transfers for the Fiscal Years 2021-2022. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by
waste
Dr.
of 2 hours.
LeBlanc and seconded by Dr. Little. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos,
No discussion.
Dr. LeBlanc.
No discussion. This is routine.
Gotta ask. Trustee Calhoun,
No discussion.
Dr. Little.
No discussion.
Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
President Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
15.05 Administrative Services, Compton Community College District Resolution Number 1019-2021F for authorization for temporary interfund cash borrowing between funds fiscal year 2021-2022. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Moved. Second.
It's been moved by Dr. LeBlanc and seconded by Dr. Little. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos,
No discussion.
Dr. LeBlanc,
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun.
Yes, discussion. I know this is quite sure I've seen this before. Why do we have a shortage?
We don't have a shortage. What we're doing is based for cash flow, is that this gives us the opportunity, if we need to, borrow money from different funds based off of cash flow from the state funding. We can be able to do it. Last year we did it. We did not have to utilize, we didn't have to transfer money, but it's something that we do on a yearly basis now, just in case we do need to transfer money between funds as it relates to cash flow.
Okay, so I read it wrong. I thought it said it was a shortage. Okay. I thought 1505 said it was a shortage. That's why I asked that question, but I remembered that I think that we had did this before.
We did it last year.
It was last year. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I still, whatever it is, okay.
All right, Dr. Little.
I have nothing. No.
All right, thank you. Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
President Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 16, discussion action, 16.01, California Community Colleges Trustee Fellowship Intercession Project, Dr. Curry.
So today, this is going to be interesting. So we have Dr. Helen Benjamin, who is our facilitator for the Board of Trustees working on evaluation, but also be working with us on the Trustee Fellowship Program. And Tina Cooperman will be involved in this as well, because she will be going over our DEI data slide, which is the last slide on this presentation. But I'd like to hand it over to Dr. Benjamin, who has served as our facilitator, to talk about the 3 items that we want to work with to begin the conversation with the board this evening. Dr. Benjamin.
Yes, thank you very much, and good evening, everybody.
Good
I want to
evening.
share my screen. I put together just a PowerPoint to walk through some things and kind of summarize where you are. And I think that now I can probably pull it up. So I think in the last retreat we had, board retreat, you were talking about this particular grant you had received from the state. It's an intercession project, and yours has to do with DEI. And I'll just start by summarizing it a bit. And I don't know how much you've discussed it since that board meeting. But I went through all the related materials and worked with Tina today. And the goal of the grant is to increase faculty, and I have faculty there left to see out, to increase faculty and staff diversity to reflect the student population. In your proposal, your reform strategy is to infuse faculty and staff diversity into professional development and establish realistic targets. And so within that proposal, you had 3 goals. And what I'm going to propose to you tonight, and I need you to respond, and I know the time is late, so I don't want to take a lot of time with this, is to propose a way to approach your 3 assignments. The first one is to review faculty, classified staff, and managers, supervisors, disaggregated data by employee type, race, and gender, and establish indicators for the 2021-2022 year. So what I'm proposing is that tonight, in a shorter time as we can, Tina will go over these particular data with you. And then perhaps you ask whatever questions you want as she reviews the data, and then provide direction to the board for them, not the board, but to staff, to your president, CEO, to develop some targets for you to review later so that you don't have to do all the work around the targets. You can give any direction you want tonight or questions or whatever, and they have the background to come up with some targets to which you can respond later. So that would be assignment number 1. And assignment number 2, stated in there, was that you would review Administrative Regulation 7122, which is faculty recruitment and selection, and Administrative Regulation 7121, which is the same for administrative recruitment and selection, and provide direction to the president and CEO on recommended changes or updates. And my recommendation is that in your next meeting, because in the proposal, you indicated that you wanted to do all of this in board meetings. So this month, you look at the data in terms of the numbers, demographic data of faculty and staff and students. Next month, you walk through your hiring process, walk through the hiring process so that you can see how that works, because you're gonna make recommendations on faculty recruitment and selection. And you can't do that very well if you don't understand how the process works. So that's what you would do. I was also given some information developed by the Center for Urban Education for Compton College in 2020 around updating your recruitment policies and procedures. And I thought you might look over that as well, so that you'd have some background information in addition. And they actually gave recommendations as to what they think you should do. You could review that, and that'll give you some background as to what you might want to recommend as far as changes. And the step I don't have in here is that whatever you do, all these policies and procedures would go through whatever your approval process is for updating policies and procedures in order for them to be effective. But next month, you spend some time in your meeting going over those things. That's assignment number 2. Assignment number 3 indicated that you would provide input on a public announcement after you've looked at all this stuff we've just talked about, indicating your commitment to the faculty and staff diversity reform strategy and diversity, equity, and inclusion goals. So I'm recommending here that in your December 7th meeting, you review your draft, that we would prepare a draft statement for you to respond to in terms of a public announcement. And then you have on your calendar a retreat, a board retreat on December 11th. And maybe you could devote some time there to kind of complete the project. And that way you've over 3 meetings, and it could go later, but that was just a draft that I'm proposing before Tina goes over these other data with you. So how do you feel about that approach?
board members. Trustee Ramos.
I like that approach. Was that a date that we agreed upon for the board retreat?
It's in your, I just pulled it out of your calendar. That's what you have on. I thought you usually had it in January, but
That's what they agreed to.
Yeah, but this is in your published calendar online.
Okay.
Any further questions or discussion, Trustee Ramos?
No, I'm good.
Dr. LeBlanc?
Well, it's a very thorough, comprehensive outline there, and it does definitely comply with the board approved dates of meeting. Thank you very much, Dr. Benjamin.
Oh, you're welcome.
Trustee Calhoun?
See, we got our work cut out for us.
Well, this is a topic you've been wanting to delve into.
Oh, I know. Oh, yes, indeed. The DEI, yes, and that's been my number one baby. That's why I'm on the DEI of the ACCT.
Yeah.
And I guess I better look at our calendar because I didn't see that on our calendar for December the 11th either, but it's on my calendar now.
Yeah, and some of this could change. We'll see how it goes. But Trustee Lopez, if everybody's okay, I don't know. We need to hear from the rest of the people. And it's flexible.
Got it. Okay. Let me just go with Dr. Little first, and then we could, I think, present the conversation of the date, correct?
I'm fine, yes. Are we supposed to be reviewing data tonight? Is that what I'm understanding?
It's going to take Tina about 15 minutes. We kind of talked about it today, just to let you see some of the data around, and it was in your board packet, but there was a lot in your board packet on this topic. So Trustee Lopez, if it's okay, then Tina can go through the data.
Thank you. Ms. Cooperman can go.
Well, good evening, everybody. Tina Cooperman, Director of Diversity, Compliance, and Title IX. And last time I was here back in January, we looked at a very similar slide deck, and it had information all the way up to 2020. So a lot of this shouldn't be too new or surprising to the board, because what I'm providing an update on is specifically 2021. Obviously, we've made a lot of great hires over the past year, and I did take the time to disaggregate everything by employee type, from classified faculty and administrators to race and gender. So the first slide that you see in front of you is all of our new hire data by race. So that includes faculty, staff, and classified. And as you can see, that is, we had 9 African-American people hired in 2021, followed by 6 Latinx, 2 white, 3 Asian, 3 unknown or unidentified. So if we can go on to the next slide, please. Okay, so now as you can see, it's been disaggregated by race, by faculty. Okay, perfect. So same thing, you see that we have made significant improvements in 2021 by hiring 3 Black faculty, 2 Hispanic/Latino, 1 white, and then 2 are unknown. Right, next slide. Same with classified. You can see the numbers as they are. And let's go to the next. And then for administrators. So we hired 4 administrators as of today, and 2 identified as Black, 1 Hispanic Latinx, and we had 1 Asian person as well. Okay, so the next couple of slides are going to be a new hire data based on sex. and gender. So the first one is the conglomerate. So you get a big picture view of all of our hires since 2021. Next slide. And that has been broken down once again in our 3 separate categories. So first you'll see faculty. And as you can see, it's pretty split evenly between male and female. And we had one unknown as well, or just someone who did not choose to identify. Next slide. For classified, we see roughly one. It's about 50-50 again, I would say. And we also have one person identify as non-binary. So that's what the green is. Next slide. And then finally, for our administrators, you can see again, it's very evenly split 2 and 2 for a total of 4 administrators. So that is the latest and greatest in Compton College hiring in 2021. Did anyone have any questions?
Trustee Ramos.
No questions. Thank you for all that data.
Dr. LeBlanc.
Thank you so much for the data, and I have no questions. Good job.
Trustee Calhoun.
Yes, thank you for the data. I have a question. Is the counselors under the administrators when you talk about new hire? Which one is for the counselors?
Faculty.
Can you go back to faculty, or was it up there?
Yep. So under faculty, any person who's hired as a counselor will go in there as well.
No, which number? Under the 4, the 3, or the 1? I'm looking at for 2021. You have
Oh,
4.
I see. Oh, so we're looking at a total of 8 new faculty hires. So I believe out of those, one of them was a counselor, and we didn't identify specifically which of these were, like, if it was a female, a male, or an unknown person or non-binary who identified as a counselor, but they are in the faculty, in the faculty section.
Is there a reason it wasn't done like that?
Counselors are considered faculty. So
No. Okay, maybe I'm
Trustee
actually.
Carroll, can I ask a question, Trustee Carroll? What are you actually, you're looking for?
Where it says 2021, it says 4 in blue, then it says 3, then it has 1. I was asking how many counselors, can she say how many counselors it is, and did they do the data, whether it was male, female, Latinx, African-American, or other?
So what we can do, and we can do this for the next meeting, we can give you a breakdown of the hires for each of the divisions. So you can see the counselor hire, you can see the by Guided Pathways division. Because I don't know that off the numbers of the hires over the last couple of years, but we can break this down by each of the divisions and include the counselors. Would that
that's what I'd like to see, male, female, the nationality, and the job that they have. That's a better breakdown for me when we get ready to do this.
So the non-teaching faculty versus the teaching, I guess.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Okay, that's good to know. So we can do that for next month.
We can certainly do that.
Okay.
Is that all, Tina? I have one more trustee. Dr. Little, do you have any feedback?
No, just for the next month, it would be good just to clarify. So only faculty can be counselors, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then there are some faculty who are designated non-teaching, or all counselors primarily teaching faculty?
We have some of our counselors who are teaching the human development course, and some teach outside of human development as well. But counselors are considered non-teaching faculty, but we also have counselors who teach classes as well.
But they have to have faculty distinction or designation to be a counselor.
Yeah, they're faculty to be. Yes, correct. They're faculty.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
Dr. Benjamin, the floor is yours.
Yes. So Tina, is that all? Do we have anything on students this time?
We have the Compton College fact book, but we could visit that on the website, and it's
okay. So for next month, we'll have, so you can see, and that's the point of assignment number 1, is to compare the breakdown of students to faculty, and your goal is to get the employees more reflective of the student body. So we need to see what the student body looks like. So we'll make sure we do that the next time, and then we'll walk you through the hiring process. So you can know exactly how that works. And that's our little short presentation to get us started on this great assignment for the next 2 months anyway. And if you don't have any more questions, we're done. And Tina, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Moving on to item number 16.02, update on Compton Community College District Board of Trustee areas redistricting.
So I want to provide the board a presentation from our partners, from the redistricting partners. I think Kay is on the line, and to provide an update regards to the demographic study that they did with regards to data. And then after that, I will talk about the action plan and timeline. It's Kay, I see you. And Lauren, could you pull up the second item?
All right, wonderful. Hi, my name is Kay Pleasure. I am a project manager with Redistricting Partners, and we are going to just go through an introduction to our team, who we are, what we're doing, go through some redistricting principles, and then go through some of the data that we have. So we can go ahead to the next slide. So Redistricting Partners is a firm that focuses on redistricting, demographics, and Voting Rights Act analysis. So we work under a master agreement with the Foundation for California Community Colleges to provide services directly to community college districts. We've done more of this work with community colleges than any other firm, and we have a similar partnership with the California School Boards Association for 2021. And so let's just talk a bit about what redistricting is. So redistricting is the process of adjusting district lines every 10 years after the release of the US Census. So when people think of redistricting, they usually think of congressional redistricting and legislative redistricting, but districts like community college districts also have to go through this process. And within the US, redistricting has become a very politicized process, and it's been the subject of more high-profile Supreme Court decisions than any other part of our election system. So because of that, if we go to the next slide, we have a set of principles in place. So there are traditional redistricting principles and these are just criteria that have been used nationally and upheld by courts. The first of these principles is that districts have to be of relatively equal size. And that's people, not citizens or voters. It's all people, a total population. They have to be contiguous, which means that districts should not hop or jump. Or another way to say that is that you can write them with one line. You can draw them with one line. It's really important to keep districts compact in both appearance and function. So when you say compact in appearance, I know that most of you have probably seen those districts that look like snakes that go around to different communities. Those are not compact. We want to make sure that they're as square or circular as possible. When we say compact in the sense of function, we mean that there are rivers and mountain passes that it might look like on a flat map that those are next to each other, but they're not communities that are next to each other and maybe wouldn't benefit from being in the same district. We also, it's really important that we maintain communities of interest, which is a group of people. It could be a neighborhood or a group in a community that would benefit from being maintained in one district. And then of course, following city, county, and local government lines, and just making sure that we are following those lines that are already in place. And next slide. So we talked a little bit about what a community of interest is, but let's talk a little bit more about it. A community of interest includes ethnic and language minorities, as well as many other groups. Community of interest is really defined by you, the community members. And there are communities that are covered by the Voting Rights Act. These communities are Latinos, Asians, and African Americans. And race is a community of interest. It can be considered a community of interest. It cannot be the predominant factor when drawing district lines. And next slide. So starting in 2020, cities and counties that are doing redistricting, going through this process, have additional criteria from the California Fair Maps Act of 2019. And so these rules, they are criteria for cities and counties. They do not necessarily apply to community college districts or trustee areas, but they are becoming a best practice. So it's good practice to adopt these as best practices. The first of these is transparency when conducting redistricting. Also, not using incumbent or candidate residencies as a community of interest, and not drawing districts to advantage a political party. And so these are the current lines for Compton Community College District. We have the 5 districts here. We could go ahead to the next slide. And so this is the population change from 2010 to 2020. The change for the whole district, the total change was 3,488 growth in population, and the percentage change was 1.1%. So as you can see here, there was some population loss and some population growth. In District 1 and 3, there was population loss, and then in District 2, 4, and 5, there was growth. The biggest growth in District 2 with 2,757. And here we have a breakdown of each of the districts. So at the top here, you can see population, deviation, and deviation percentage. So these are all the same population numbers that we just saw in the previous slide. So deviation is how close you are to that desired equal population. So the smallest district is District 3 with a deviation of -3.7%, and the highest deviation, or the biggest, most populated district, is District 5 with a deviation of 5.7%. And so the total deviation of the district is the sum of the absolute values of the highest and lowest districts. So that's, a kind of a mouthful. So for the whole district, the maximum deviation is 10%. And so when you add the total absolute values of the highest and lowest deviations, so that would be 3.7 plus 5.7, the deviation for the whole district is 9.4%. So that is within that 10% maximum of equal population. And so we can go through each of the districts here, and most notably, what we're going to look at is the citizen voting age population, or CVAP data. So as you can see here, most notably in District 1, the Latino CVAP percentage is 70%, so a CVAP over 50%. And District 2, we have a Latino CVAP of 54.6%. And also notably here, the Black CVAP is 41.9%. Next, we have District 3, where the Latino CVAP is 81.4%. And then District 4, we have a Latino CVAP of 60.6%. And then District 5, the Latino CVAP is 43.7%, and the Black CVAP is 49.1%. And then we can go ahead to the next slide. Thank you very much. So we have next steps. There are a couple of options that we can choose to do. The first of the options is that the districts can keep their existing lines since it's under that 10% deviation, or the districts can request draft maps to adjust current districts. So really it's up to the board what they choose to do, but we can draw draft maps considering other criteria, or you can choose to keep existing lines. And so just going through the timeline for this. So today we went through redistricting basics. The redistricting committee is going to be established soon, as mentioned earlier. November will be the first committee meeting, December the second committee meeting, and then the process with draft maps, adopting the maps, and then sending those final adopted maps out to the Board of Elections. And that is our presentation, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Trustee Ramos.
I actually don't have any questions. The presentation was very informative. It's a lot to take in. Thank you for the presentation.
Dr. LeBlanc.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I have no question.
Trustee Calhoun.
Yes, can you go up one page, please? The last page. Okay, great PowerPoint. Yeah, that's the page I want you to stay at. When you said October, the Compton CCD redistricting committee established, is that you? Is that your organization? That's doing the.
No, that Trustee Calhoun, the district is doing that. So we sent out a press release. The board approved the timeline at the last meeting where individuals are submitting to my office for individuals to serve on the committee. As we mentioned, we want committee members to be from our trustee areas.
Right. And so the deadline is November the 2nd, correct?
I think it's November 2nd. I need to pull it up. I think it's November 2nd when we put out a press release.
Okay. No, November the 2nd is the first committee meeting. I mean, November is the first committee meeting, but you have.
Yeah, but I wanted, the problem is I set it up that the first meeting will be after the board. So the board would see who's on the committee.
I got you. Okay, thank you. That's all
I
I
wanted
need.
to time it, and then the meeting will be the later part of November.
Okay.
The early part of December.
Okay.
So the individuals come to me with their application, then I'm gonna present to the board. These are the committee members, and the board will sign off on that in the November meeting. Then after that, they will have their first meeting.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Great report, by the way. There's a question I asked. You said that in doing the process, you have to go, we can either use the same map we have, or we vote on to do a different map. Does this have to do with the new census that's coming out now that gives us more people in every district?
Yes, so this, are you talking about, so we had legacy data come out this summer, right, and then we had the prison population reallocation. That data came out at the end of September. So this data that you're looking at is the final census data.
Okay, thank you. Great report.
Dr. Little?
Yes, thank you so much for a great report. So when you said we are below 10 and we don't have to change the district line, Dr. Curry, why are we having a committee? Are we agreeing already that we're going to change them, or are we just having a committee to look at the data?
From my perspective, I don't recommend that the board makes that decision today. I think the committee needs to forward a recommendation to the board so that it's outside of the board, and you got a committee that forwards your recommendation. So the committee can look at the numbers, they can look at both, and then make a recommendation to the board, and then the board can make the final decision.
I understand, but I just want to be, for clarity purposes, it's an
The board
exercise.
could say the board could say at any point, even tonight, that since the numbers are below 10%, want to keep the map where they're at. My recommendation is that you want to get community input through a committee to make that recommendation to the board prior to the board taking action.
I think community input is always great. I just want to establish the fact that it's an exercise in community engagement versus a necessity. And it's always good to get information, but I want to clarify that that is what we're doing and that it would be advisory. So that way everybody is clear, because we don't want any perceptions that we created a committee. And if they come back any particular way and the board has a different perspective, that we did not take their perceptions into consideration, that we are not bound as of tonight to do that. But because we're wanting to engage and have more community participation, we're going to go through this exercise. Is that correct?
Correct. Exactly what you
Okay,
just
but I wanted to be clear because some people may perceive it that it was required. We went through the process, and that there may be a way that if the board comes up with a different decision, we don't know what the committee is going to recommend, that we in some way are not adhering to what is required of us. So I just want to make sure that it's established in the minutes that this is an exercise of community engagement intentionally for transparency, for oversight, but contribution versus decision making. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I want to make sure that we are not taking an action item on this, correct?
Correct.
I haven't, okay. All right, moving on to 1603, Compton College full-time equivalent students.
So I just want to provide you with the update on enrollment, and you can see the numbers. We have increased our numbers of full-time students, and I think we're down compared to last year by 6%. But the numbers are increasing, and I'm excited. This week we started our CNA program. So this gives you an update of where we're at as relates to enrollment for this fall semester. And now we're beginning to work on the winter and spring enrollment. One of these that we've been seeking input from the Enrollment Management Committee. We allocated $100,000 for enrollment management. And hopefully by the end of next week, we can make some allocations for those dollars regards to enrollment. The letter from the board to the community went out, and that went out in early October, and that has been received by most of our residents. So we're moving forward regards to enrollment, and we're always taking advice and suggestions from faculty, staff, and administrators regards to how we can work on enrollment. This past weekend, I attended the Concerned Citizens meeting, and they had a recommendation about they want to be volunteers and go out to different community events on behalf of the college. And we're going to move forward with implementing that program because this will help us increase our reach within the community. And that concludes my update on enrollment.
Trustee Ramos, any discussion or questions?
No, I do not.
Dr. LeBlanc?
No, I do not. Thank you so much.
Trustee Calhoun?
So this was 1604, right, Dr. Curry?
1603.
Oh, 160. Oh, I'm sorry, 1603. Okay, no, none whatsoever.
Dr. Little?
Yes, just one thing for possible future, Dr. Curry, thank you for updating the strategy and the numbers. I know we were provided a link to FTEs over the years with the claim that the numbers have been decreasing. And I would like if you could clarify, not tonight, but maybe at a future meeting, because of the data that I looked at, there were ebbs and flows. It has not been a consistent decrease, and it looks more corresponding over the last year. So if we can get clarity around that and around the numbers, how the numbers have decreased, but yet at the beginning of the semester, they have also increased. So just some clarity, because I'm a little bit confused by the data set that we were directed to.
No problem. We can provide that information.
All right. Thank you very much. 16.04, Board Policy 6340, Bids and Contracts and Administrative Regulation 6340.
Yeah, so at the last board meeting, Trustee Calhoun asked a question regards to the board policy as relates to contracts and bidding. And so what we included in this board packet was a board policy and administrative regulation. I also included my CEO letter from January. You might ask a question why I put that in there, but in there was the bid limits from the LA County Office of Education, and then also the emergency resolution, which the board approved regards to through COVID-19, we provide a little bit more authority to the CEO as relates to contracts and bids. And we also have the staff is online. Dr. Nasser is here to answer questions, and also our legal counsel who provides us with assistance. Stephen is on the call. I don't know where I see him at, but he's on the call as well. So to address any questions you might have from the board.
Trustee Ramos.
No questions.
Dr. LeBlanc.
No questions. Thank you.
Trustee Calhoun.
No questions, because he answered my question, and I did ask this question. Thank you.
Dr. Little.
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, board members. Moving on to item number 17.01, grant items.
Board President Lopez, you can group these if you want. I put them as you can group them as if you want to group all 17.01 to 17.04.
Board members, I would need a motion to vote 17.01 through 17.04.
A state unreadiness, please pull 1702.
I mean, I don't have a motion on the floor. We can individually vote on each one.
No, I'd like to have a motion that we group 1701, 1703, and 1704.
So moved. Second.
All right, we are 1701 and 4. It was moved by Dr. LeBlanc, and was that you, Dr. Little, who seconded it?
Yes.
Thank you. Is there any discussion, board members, on item 17.01, 17.03, or 17.04? Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Dr. LeBlanc.
No discussion. Thank you.
Trustee Calhoun.
No discussion.
Dr. Little.
No discussion.
Seeing no discussion, Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
President Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
17.02, Administrative Services Grants Ratification, ECMC Foundation. Can I get a motion?
Yes,
we need a motion before we jump to the discussion.
I'm sorry.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Calhoun and seconded by Trustee Ramos. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos.
Can I provide
No
some background to
discussion.
this item, please, Trustee Lopez?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Can I provide some background to this item, please?
That's where, let me ask the questions and then we can get the background a little bit.
If you don't mind.
That'll be fine.
Just because I started the process, Dr. Curry, I'm going to finish it and then I'll have you speak after. And Dr. LeBlanc, was your turn.
Yes, I just wanted some clarity on, and it sounds like Dr. Curry is getting ready to give that, but I wanted to know who the group is that's doing the filming, what the purpose of what the venue is going to be for showing it. And I see that it looks like the filming has already begun, started in August and it runs into June. Who's being filmed? I saw it on the agenda and it's something that has already begun, and it was the first I had read of it. So, I'm sure it's a great idea. I just, wanted to get some more information.
Trustee Calhoun?
Yeah, I had the same questions, and if they're already filming and we're just now approving it, Does it mean money was already spent and I thought we approve it and then they do it?
I also want to remind the board members that we are grant items.
I understand.
Oh, no, there was just the money question.
Oh, I got that. I know the money question was because if they already started it, do they get paid at the end then or do they get paid during the time? And then,
Trustee Little.
No, Dr. Calhoun is not done. I mean, Trustee Calhoun is not done.
It's okay. He'll probably say it and then I won't have to ask it again.
Dr. Little, do you have any questions?
No, I'm sure Dr. Curry will address it right now in terms of, but just a clarification, grant monies, we don't have to approve.
Right, correct.
Okay.
Grant money is we approve us receiving money given by these organizations, which is what we're doing right now.
Correct.
Dr. Curry.
So we work with the American Association for Community Colleges Trustees to work with ECMC because people want to hear our story about us being accredited. We have not hired anyone. The reason why it says August 20th, that's the date that they say they'll give us the funding. We submitted a request to them for the funding, working through ACCT to tell our story. We have not hired anyone. We have not talked about the storytelling. All they want is they want to be able to document the process that we went through to become accredited. And we'll end up interviewing like our board, people, our faculty staff, everyone else a part of the process that got us to becoming accredited because we haven't documented that history on our campus. And so that's what we're working on. We have not selected someone to do it. We just got the grant money, and in the next couple of weeks, we start work on the next steps.
Congratulations. I'd like to only suggest that in the filming that you cast a wide net and include people past, current, and so forth.
Exactly. I think it needs to be, as we think about this, we need to think about like, where do we start in 2000? So one of the things, I want to digress on this. If you look at our history and documenting what happened to our college in 2005, beginning in 2004, then in 2005 and 2006, and to where we're at now, a lot of people don't know that history of what the struggle was to get to 2017. But also looking at it from different lenses, looking at it from lens of elected officials, looking at it from the lens of faculty staff, looking at the lens from community, looking at it from the lens from students. So this gives us an opportunity to document our story and share that story with others as we move forward.
Nice, beautiful. Thank you. Well, thank you, Madam President, for allowing us to get that background information because that sheds light. Thank you.
Most definitely.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry, excuse me. Did you say what ECMC stand for?
Yes, you did.
I missed it, I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you.
Can you repeat it, Dr. Curry, just so that
no, it's okay. I'll get it. I can look at this again.
So the one good thing about it is ECMC has been a funder for us for a couple projects, including the $114 we gave for dual enrollment, this one, and we're also working on another grant with them as well. So they're really supportive of Compton College and the work that we're doing.
Nice.
See no further discussion. Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
President Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 18, board policies and administrative regulations. Board members, if I'm going to call each one, if there's any particular item you would like for Dr. Curry to discuss, now is the time. Trustee Ramos.
I do not have any. Thank you.
Dr. LeBlanc.
Thank you. I do not either.
Trustee Calhoun.
No.
Dr. Little.
No, thank you.
Dr. Curry.
No.
What was that?
Nothing to say on the board policy.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Good night. That's about the only, no, just kidding.
Item number 19, information items. Dr. Curry.
These are items for information for the Board of Trustees. At the next meeting, we will bring forward the updated institutional set goals, but it provides you all the updates on what we're doing on our campus. One of these I think is very important for the board to see in regards to 19.21, regards to irrevocable trust for the OPEB, is that that's now fully funded. We started this in 2013 as a for our retiree health benefits, and now that it's fully funded. So when you look at fiscal stability for our organization, one of the things that auditors look at, and also the credit commission looks at, is your OPEB liability. And Compton College is one of a few community college districts who is fully funded. So congratulations to the Board of Trustees.
Thank you.
And that includes the information items.
Moving on to item number 20, future agenda items. Board of Trustees, do you have 20.01 Compton Community College District Board of Trustees future agenda items request? Trustee Ramos.
I do not. Thank you.
Dr. LeBlanc.
I do not. Thank you.
Trustee Calhoun.
No.
Dr. Little.
Just the request that I made earlier about the enrollment data, also about the stated expectations after the separation from El Camino. And I would like information, Dr. Curry, I know that our accreditation is coming up again next year, but some information around accreditation that was needed to become independent. And so would like some information about the data and the practices that would have led to that. So thank you.
Okay.
Item 20.02, California Community Colleges Student-Centered Funding Formula will be a presentation in our next board agenda item. Moving on to item number 21, oral reports, Dr. Curry.
I just want to say a thank you to the Undocu Ally group who worked on the Undocumented Student Action Week. We include their resolution on the board today with the board approved, but I'm really excited about the activities they're producing as well this week. I also want to say thank you to the Associated Student Government for their work regards to putting on events on campus for our students. I'm really excited about student government. They're all in regards to student activities. And I also want to say thank you to them for their work as well. And then that concludes my report. Thank you very much.
Trustee Ramos, item 21.02, Board of Trustees oral report.
I just wanted to again say thank you to everyone that gave a report, a presentation. Felt like there were a lot of presentations at this meeting, but I appreciate it greatly. Thank you.
Dr. LeBlanc.
I would like to say thank you to the staff and to Dr. Curry for all of the presentations this evening. And also thank you for the opportunity of being a part of the ACCT conference. Felt like I had come full circle from the first time that I attended it in 2013 as a panelist, and then also hosting the African American Caucus reception at our National University facility up there in Seattle. So that was, and to be able to see how much Compton has grown in terms of our involvement at the national level with my two colleagues, Trustee Calhoun and Trustee Little, participating with the DEI this last week, and Trustee Calhoun participating with the elections. It was just phenomenal to see how far Compton has grown in that whole national congressional effort. Also, I would like to officially announce my early retirement from the Compton Community College Board of Trustees, effective after the November board meeting. I have had a wonderful time on the board for the last 12 years, and it is time to hang it up. All good things must come to an end. And so I'm just very grateful to the communities of Paramount, Long Beach, North Long Beach, Downey, parts of Bellflower for the opportunity of serving to represent you on the Compton Community College Board of Trustees. Lastly, I'd like to invite all of my colleagues to join in our community town hall meeting tomorrow, starting at 5 o'clock. It will be in Zoom, and I look forward to seeing you there. Take care.
Thank you very much, Trustee Calhoun.
I'm speechless right now. Oh, Dr. Deborah LeBlanc, you will be truly missed in whatever your retirement brings you. I know what a retirement is like. I do, but you're going to be truly missed. I know that Dr. Curry, when it comes to outreach, I know that you always talk about being very careful with your staff, about sending them out and things like that. And I was wondering if your staff or whoever does the outreach, if they can go on the websites of like the City of Compton, Paramount, Linwood, and even the city council, their website, the school board for Paramount, Linwood, and Compton Unified. And they can find the things where they are doing different events, where your staff can take a table and our banner and information about enrolling in Compton College. There's a lot of things still going on in the city. And it's going on in other cities also, especially with our partnership schools. And if your outreach department can find that, then they could attend and take Compton College information about enrollment in Compton Community College. I mean, although they are partners, we do expect them to do it, but everybody needs help. And I think I used to see Compton College at a lot of different events throughout the community with information about enrollment, ink pens, paper. You can enroll right then and there. You have the classes. That's a good outreach, and I hope that you, Dr. Curry, would look at that so that your outreach partners can do that throughout the city and have our table there representing Compton. I did attend the ACCT conference. It was very good. I love seeing Dr. Little. She was the facilitator, woo-woo, for DEI. She did an excellent job. And to the surprise of Dr. Curry, he was put on the panel. It worked out very good, Dr. Little. You really got him. But the information was great and it was good. And I just enjoyed learning more about institutions and different things that different colleges do. A lot of people did a lot of different things. And I was listening to one of the gentlemen talk about the college and what they do for their homeless students. Some of their homeless students sleeps in cars or mobile homes or whatever they can, and then some of them sleep or the friend's house. And what this college did, the college board got together and they allowed their homeless students that had cars, vehicles, trucks, or whatever to come and sleep on the campus. And they opened the showers up at 5 a.m. in the morning so that the students can take a shower and be prepared for, their classes. And they were saying they'd do anything and everything in order to assist their students. They did say they went to the local police department, and the police department was going to charge them an arm and a leg. So what they did is they hired a security company that charged them less. And the students would be on the campus. They could sleep in their car. A lot of them did their homeworks and they felt safe. And it was so good to hear how other colleges are maintaining during this pandemic. But a lot of them started prior to the pandemic. They were putting it in place, but it went in effect during the pandemic, and it went over very well with a lot of their homeless students and stuff like that. And a lot of them are now talking about putting buildings on their campuses for housing for their students. And they were very good with forthcoming. Some of this was back east, some of it was in California, and everybody had a different take on it. And I just thought that a lot of them were great ideas. And I don't know if the board ever thought about it, or if we do have Securitas on our campus. I don't know if that's a board policy or if we need a board policy, or, we could discuss on how to help some more of our students that are homeless, that might be living in their cars and just living off, on the streets. A lot of them had pantries where like we did, and a lot of them reopened their pantries back for their students. Some of them did food drives, but they started a pantry back up, which I thought was very good. Hopefully we can start ours back up pretty soon. Although we do have every table, it would be good to get our pantry back and put it in a different place, make it bigger and larger so that we can have, like a larger refrigerator and stuff like that. And they also talked about students that are having a hard time at college and what they did with the outreach to reach their students. And they say they were just flabbergasted because they were unaware until they started talking to some of their students about what they were going through with the trials and tribulations with the pandemics and how they could get help. And I know that we're helping a lot of our students also. And it was just interesting to see how other colleges were doing it. And so I'm hopeful and glad that our college has helped our students with laptops and hotspots. And I don't know if our students had to pay back the money for the laptops, or if that's a concern, or if there's a way that our students will not have to pay that money back for the laptops. I don't know, in the hotspots, and they can continue to use it to succeed, in what they're doing. And so a lot of great ideas came to me out of the conference that we went to. And it was just fascinating to hear how other colleges, what they were doing, just exactly like what we're doing for our students. And they were just doing, especially with the parking on the campus. And it was a concern. And I didn't get a chance to finish talking to the young man because I wanted to ask about the restroom access. But then he came to me later and said there was a restroom close by that they were allowed to use. And then one college said that they did a porta potty, but not the regular porta potties. The porta potty that the actors use. You can walk up a step on them, and they did one of those, and they kept it on the campus. But when it wasn't being used, they moved it to decide until it was that evening time about what time the homeless students came on the campus. So once again, I'm all about the students, what we can do and how we can help them, how we can assist them in all of their needs. We had a lot of comments tonight. I listened to all of the comments. I took it all in. And I'd just like to thank everybody for their comments, for the presentations, and everything that was discussed tonight with comments and all. So thank you very much. And once again, Dr. Sharani Little, kudos to you and being the facilitator of the DEI, and we're both on it, but I am just so proud of the initiative that you took and how you stood there in front of everybody and you let the audience ask questions also, but that was a well-run meeting and great information that came out. And so once again, thank you so much. And Dr. LeBlanc, I'm still shocked, but I know that times there's things that have to end, and they do, may not end how we want them, but it's supposed to end how the person wants them to end. And it's always good to go out high than to go out low. Thank you.
And Dr. Little.
I just want to thank everyone again, as my fellow trustees have already indicated, for great insight and information tonight. I too want to acknowledge our trustee LeBlanc, and hopefully by next month she will have changed her mind. But if not, we'll make sure that we give her the greatest send off. I do want to thank my fellow trustees. Thank you, Trustee Calhoun, for being our legislative representative for our elections and representing us in our statewide diversity, equity, and inclusion work, and in our national conference, Dr. LeBlanc and Trustee Calhoun, on behalf of our entire Compton Community College District Board. Thank you, Dr. Curry, for your participation in the conference and for joining our panel and sharing the strategies and the sentiment of unapologetic commitment to students. Thank you, everyone who presented information on our students, especially our student leadership. And finally, I want to end with 42 years ago, I started as a student at Compton College. And it was through my high school, similar to what we have at dual enrollment. And the same sentiments that I had as a student, and I had participated on this campus well before that, growing up in this community, is the same sentiment that keeps us on a call late into the evening, working on behalf of our community and our students. And I would hope that every person who has a connectivity to Compton College, that we remember why we are all here. And it's for the benefit of students. It's for the benefit of our community. And that while we may have differences of perspective and differences of strategy, we cannot have differences of purpose. And I just want to thank everyone who is really dedicated to the uplift and success of our community, and to really think about what is in the best interest of students. And again, as I look and think about myself as a high school student in my own community, less than 5 miles from my home, and the opportunities that it has provided for me throughout my life, I'm thankful that despite circumstances and despite differences, that people stayed focused into the task to provide me that opportunity and students well after. At the end of the day, we won't be tested by what we say or what we think we win. We'll be tested by the outcomes that we achieve on the behalf of the least of these. Not on behalf of ourselves, but the least of these, those who are seeking to do their very best, as Trustee Calhoun talked about, despite circumstances. And so I would hope that as a unified community, we can move forward. We can remember what this work truly is about. Thank you also to President Lopez, who has provided us an opportunity to engage in very important conversations and as well as to move us forward. So thank you, everyone, and we look forward to next month. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much, board members. I don't have anything, but our special trustee, Jean, has asked to provide comments on 21.03. So Jean, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I just wanted to share with you several conversations I've had with the state chancellor's office regarding the no confidence vote on Dr. Curry. Their response is interesting. First, they're very complimentary of what you've accomplished in Compton in the years, in particularly in the last 5 or 6 years. And they're very supportive of Dr. Curry. And I think they're a bit confused of why the issue at Compton is enrollment when it's a statewide issue. Virtually every college in the state is suffering significant decreased enrollment. And it appears as though we're all going to have to be or recognize that we are going to have to shrink gracefully because there are virtually less students. The graduating classes are shrinking. We're going to have less students, and there is a great deal of a competition for every one of them. And it's not going to be easy. The one thing that they are most concerned about and emphasized over and over was their worry about the lack of stability. And their feeling is that if, for any reason, that if Dr. Curry would leave, that Compton would be in a state of instability. And if that happens, they made it very clear that they will once again, they do have the authority to do that they will put a full-time state trustee on the campus. And that would be, in my opinion, very sad because the college, in my opinion, would back up a number of years, if not 10. And it would have a significant impact on accreditation. So I think that you have to think very carefully about it. And I assured them that our board, you, are very supportive of Dr. Curry as well as myself. And I think we just have to address the issues, but work ahead and everything will be fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 22, next regularly scheduled board meeting is on Tuesday, November 16th. Closed session will begin at 4 o'clock and regular session will begin at 5 o'clock. Today, we will be closing and adjourning of our Secretary Colin Powell. It is now 8:33 and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, board.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a blessed evening.
Oh, good evening, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Night.